Another award-winning, thought-provoking, action-packed edition of the Tony Basilio Show is coming up next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com, home of the Tony Basilio Show.
Listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
My name's Tony Basilio. Welcome you to our Thursday edition. Fired up, focused, and prepared. With you, stacked, jacked, and packed. Very excited to be with you. Tennessee gets a chance back in the center ring this weekend to kind of work on some things as they get ready for their first SEC road game. We're live tomorrow at Calhoun's on the River. It's going to be exciting. I'll be out there from 1 till whenever. Russell Smith will come along from 3 till 6 Eastern time. So a couple opportunities for you to come out, see us, enjoy us, and do our thing. And we're very, very, very excited about that. So we've got a lot to discuss today, including the fact that college football now is trying to wrestle with what to do with their transfer portal, which we wrote about today over at tclub.team as part of our award-winning talking points, which appear each and every day. And if you go to our talking points today, you'll see that not only am I wishing you a happy UAB Thursday, but you'll notice that the one-time transfer window is now a reality. The question becomes now, when should the transfer portal window be? And by the way, we're wide open today. No guests. We've had a couple of guest-heavy days here last few days. Right, Bri? We wanted to kind of let the air out today. Right, Bri? Let it breathe, so to speak.
Let it breathe, man. Let it breathe. I got a bumper request.
So Bri busts a little TR imitation there. I'm pretty excited myself today because I'm finally going to go and get my back procedure that I should have had done like a month ago. But shout out to my man Earl Anderson. You know, it's like these days you got to lay around and writhe around in pain for like I don't know, 7 or 8 weeks till you can get the medical care that you should get. But hey, I'm extremely happy and thankful, and hopefully it works. But TGMD in the house, C in the house, TB and Brian Hartman in the house, and we've got a lot to discuss. We've got a lot to discuss. AC, from your perspective, this one window versus two, good thing, bad thing? What's your read on it?
Yeah, it seems like it's a good thing, Tony. Just as far as limiting some of the craziness.
Yep.
I know that in talking to some people, it sounds like the SEC and Big Ten are pushing for this to be in January, when it sounds like it's going to be early January before school starts.
Right.
While the other leagues, including the ACC, the Big 12, and the Group of 5 teams, are pushing for it to be after spring practice. But usually we kind of know how this ends when the SEC and Big Ten want one thing and everybody else wants another.
Hey, Matt Dixon, what is your read on the one-time transfer window? And if I made you king, which I'm going to ask the callers today, where would you put it? Would you do it in the spring after you see what your needs are and let the fever – because then if you did it in the spring, you'd have quarterbacks jumping. You'd have many people in the spot Tennessee's in. And if you did it in the spring, you would have, I think you would borderline have quarterbacks, what's the word? Not leveraging, but almost blackmailing their schools. Either you give me some money, give me all your love and all your hugs and kisses too, or I'm out of here. But, Matt, where would you put it if I made you king? And how long would it be, guys? How long would it be, Matt?
The 2 or 3 week deal is plenty to me because all the tampering stuff goes on year round anyway. So,
it's tough, right?
Really, it should be after the, pretty soon after your season.
See, I agree with that. I agree, Matt. Even the playoff teams. Yeah.
Like here, like we can talk about like the quarterback thing and Nico specifically. Like, you're not a serious quarterback if you're leveraging money and leaving your team after spring practice. Like, that's not how a good program operates and good quarterback. Like, that doesn't work.
Right. It blew up in that kid's face.
You need to do it immediately after the season.
Matt, that's a really good point on Nico. My contention was that the entire apparatus and establishment around college football was cheering against Nico and cheering for Joey football. They've gotten the best possible result here, if you stop and think about it. They really have.
Well, if you had that a year earlier, Nico probably would still be at Tennessee and we wouldn't have Joey Aguilar, would we?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if Nico would have forced the hand and walked out in December if he knew he didn't have a spring window. I think his camp disingenuously led Tennessee to believing that he was going to stay when, in fact, he was never going to stay. But we've got a lot to get into.
That's what you've got to clean up, the like nonstop, potential being a free agent in college sports. Like, that has to stop. And that's obviously what this stuff is a step towards doing.
Yes, you're exactly right. So we've got that to discuss, and I want to talk about it. C just said something really interesting there, which is that his information is that the SEC and Big Ten won it before the somewhere between the December signing period and then the February whatever's left signing period, but right there in the early winter. The problem with major college football is that it's professional sports, but it's not. Like, we were talking with Mark Ingram yesterday about it, who was pretty poison-pilled on the whole thing. And, I mean, who can blame him? What happens to them at their level, the way they get just picked apart like a carcass on the side of the road when they have players they identify that can play. But the problem with the whole thing is, if you were going to do it, if you were going to pick a perfect time to do it, it would be in early February. Once you figured out from your signing class what the swings and misses were, and for the have schools. But you can't do that because you're adhering to semesters. And like C said, the power schools want to get these kids on campus and get them acclimated right away. They don't want to get them in the summer. Now, if you look at it, Joey football and also the kid at Tulane have kind of proven that you can walk in off the street and play. And if you can walk in off the street and play quarterback, you can pretty much walk in off the street and play any position. And Watson Brown said that all summer, these coaches don't take the breaks they once did, so they're around. And all summer, you can get an offensive lineman. Say if they did move it this spring, you could get an offensive lineman boned up and ready to go through the summer. See, do you think that? Don't you think that Joey football's kind of shown us this? Or no? Where are y'all on that? I mean, I'm just kind of looking at the deal going, okay.
Yeah, I think quarterbacks sort of have more at their disposal. I think they can learn quicker. The right guys can learn quicker than maybe they could years ago.
865-200-5402. Where are you on that? Because it's really an interesting thing to look at. And then I also want to talk with you today about that they've made some changes. The stressor to their system, we're not going to see if the changes they've made to Neyland Stadium, because if you read the blog today, that about got very dangerous down there for some people. And your responsibility as a school, you should never have a situation like that on your campus. And I'm not Monday morning quarterbacking them. I don't pretend to know all the ins and outs and the where to goes and the what to do's. I do know, though, that when you have 100,000 people coming into your stadium and several entrances that you now restrict from the plebeians using, and the quote-unquote premium ticket holders, and C went through a premium gate the other day, and I want him to walk us through that. But I do know that when you do that, you can blame the band all you want. But it seems to me that you almost were hoisted on your own petard if you're Danny White. Because you got to figure out a way to get people in your stadium. And bottlenecks and fencing outside, I'll read you an email I got today. I knew that putting up the stuff in the blog today would lead to other discussion from others. And so if you want to send me, your personal account of what you saw, some of you just got right in. Here's from Jeff in Knoxville. He said, Tony, I know you guys have mentioned, and I know you wrote about the crowd control issue in Neyland Stadium. I know you wrote about it today. Personally, I didn't have a problem getting into the stadium. My huge problem was exiting the stadium. I'm not sure how many people are aware, but those fences they use to put up to herd people into gates, they used to move those out of the way once the game started. When everyone left the UGA game, they were still there on Philip Fulmer Way and still in place and causing huge bottlenecks trying to leave the stadium. One set of fencing was set up so that you exited at a certain point. It forced you to walk south, even if you had to go the complete opposite direction. It blocked everyone from going any kind of direction. Because if you wanted to walk south to gate 21 toward the river, there's a 4-foot sidewalk there to walk on. And because they didn't remove the fencing, we were herded in there like cattle. Sounds like sheep herding to me. And I'm not a sheep herder. But they got to do better. And this whole thing about kissing the rear end, and look, if you're a premium seat holder, I'm not knocking you. I'm for you, not against you. For you. It's great. But I don't know how well they've thought this out. And my take is the ETSU game did not stress it. Matt, the UAB game will not stress these new changes they've made as to whether or not they've gotten it right. That's not going to stress it, is it, Matt?
No, not at all. No. Especially post game, because I assume it's not going to be a last second game where everybody piles out at the same time either.
Arkansas game's not going to stress it, is it, Matt?
Could potentially, yeah.
I think the Oklahoma game's a real test. I think that's going to be in my mind.
Based on how bad it was, I mean, every game's a test from here on out until it's fixed.
That's a good point. I just wonder if they're robbing Peter to pay Paul too much, and if there's too much restriction, and if they need to revisit opening some of these gates. Because C's going to walk us inside on the other side, and I mean, he shared with me some things yesterday, Matt. It's going to make you shake your head. And some of the other ticket buyers that got caught in an hour and a half, an hour and 15 minutes in some people's case, like the guy that sent us an email today. I mean, it shouldn't take you an hour and 15 minutes to get in any sporting event. I don't care if you're going to the Super Bowl, and the President of the United States is there, the King of England, and the Shah of Iran are all in the house. Shouldn't take you an hour and 15 minutes to get into a sporting event. And it's certainly not an SEC football game, for crying out loud, as they say in the trade. But we'll come back. I'm going to have C share with us what he witnessed and saw and experienced going through one of Danny's gates, as I'll call them. And then we'll come back on the other side. And when we come back on the other side, I want to hear from you, and we'll talk that out. I also want to talk to you about the transfer window, the comments from Arkansas's athletic director that has them all tore up in Hog Nation. He simply told them the truth. Arkansas is a tradition-rich college football program that's now a runaround car. If SEC football was a race, they're a car that doesn't even have sponsorship, and it's got Bondo on the side and a bunch of like dents in the fenders and whatnot. Quarter panel smashed in. Looks like an old remnant from the Joey Chitwood days, as I date myself. Do they still have demolition derbies, Bri? You're into such things.
I have no idea. I guess somewhere somebody does.
Surprising. So we continue with more after this.
Are you searching for a great local coffee? I'm Billy with Grade A Grounds. You can buy our freshly roasted coffee online and support a good cause with every sip. Great coffee, greater causes. Visit our website today, gradeagrounds.com.
You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land? Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contract. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting. Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good. When it's time for your next move, you want to get your precious belongings from point A to point B with your peace of mind intact. That's why you need to call my friends at Gouffon Moving and Storage, East Tennessee's moving legend. Gouffon Moving and Storage has been helping East Tennesseans move since 1887. That's 138 years, 5 generations. That's even longer than the Dooley, Jones, and Pruitt era combined. Gouffon Moving and Storage, pro movers, serving Knoxville, surrounding areas, and interstate moves too, both residential and commercial. And we'll provide you with personalized service that other corporate movers simply cannot. We know how to move all types of items. We pay careful attention to our clients' valuables. Your satisfaction as a customer is our absolute priority. As the oldest continually owned and operated family moving business in the United States, when it's time for your next move, it's Gouffon Moving and Storage. And storage, it's secure and vaulted. Our newest offering of commercial storage logistics, we offer receiving, storage, and delivery services for all your business logistic needs. See more at Gouffon.com. That's Gouffon.com. Or check out the link at tclub.team. When it's time for your next move, East Tennessee's moving legend, Gouffon Moving and Storage.
Why limit great savings to just one weekend? This year, our Labor Day special lasts all month long. It's the September Smart Comfort event from Pipe Wrench Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. This month only, enjoy valuable home comfort upgrades at no extra cost when you install a new HVAC system or water heater to prepare your home for the colder months ahead. This September, you can get a free furnace upgrade with qualifying HVAC system installation or free sediment filter with water heater installation. Pipe Wrench is your partner for energy-efficient and cost-effective upgrades that keep your family comfortable and safe year-round. We make it easy with free on-site estimates for replacements and free second opinions on repairs. And if budgets are tight, we offer flexible payment plans including 0% financing with credit approval. No rush, no stress, just smart seasonal savings for HVAC or water heater installations until the end of September. Call Pipe Wrench at 865-264-8090 or book online at pipewrench.com to schedule your appointment today. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free.
Life never stops moving. And between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up. A tire designed for doers. A tire that's going to last. Like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Inward Half is committed to the game and the memorable moments that happen in between. From the tee box to the tailgate, from the green to the big game. For the first birdie with Dad, the first big win with Mom. Friday night lights, Saturday superstitions, Sunday traditions. Fall into the comfort and unparalleled performance of Inward Half. This fall, enjoy the walk-in.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires, just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776, or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
P to the B back with you. So I'm talking to C last night, who had a chance to go to the Georgia game on a premium ticket, but he's not like a season ticket holder. But you know, a buddy of his couldn't go, last minute kind of thing, bequeathed him a ticket. You're not going to turn that down, obviously. C, walk me through the experience, because you went through a gate that a couple years ago you remembered being public, and it's now one of these private gates. And there was a big bottleneck over the weekend. I'm not trying to start anything here. I'm just calling it like it is. See, share with us your experience.
Yeah. Okay. So I walked in. I'm sorry, I don't know the exact time. It was maybe an hour before the game. About when it seemed like it was starting to get bad. I walked through the security checkpoint over there by G10, Thompson Bowling, and it was definitely very congested, but not to the point where I felt like I was, stuck in there or anything. And I walked over there on the ticket, it said what gate I'm entering. I guess it was gate 17. And they've got a big flag above it, premium entrance, and it's like roped off. So I walk up there right up to the gate, show them my ticket. No, there's zero line. Like, there was a lot of congestion out on, I guess, down Peyton Manning Pass and all that. It's right down in front of Peyton Manning Pass. And I walk right up to the gate, and I would say there's probably 6 or 8 ushers. And my buddy was stopped by a tailgate. So he wasn't going in with me. And so it was just me by myself. And there was no one in front of me, no one behind me. It took maybe 90 seconds to get, they put a lanyard around your neck, and they give you your, a little wristband and all this stuff. And they have this, they have the long hallway there, the stairs and everything. Like I said, it's made as a regular gate. Like, when that was built, when Nealon did the renovations there on the west side, it leads right into the regular concourse. But, you go through, and there's probably 8 ushers. It was about an 8-to-1 ratio usher to people, because, in the 2 minutes it took me to get from the gate to inside the stadium, I was the only person using that gate. No exaggeration. It was like some type of, it was really odd. I've been going to games since I was a kid, and going to the regular gates, and it's always you always have a lot of people there, and I've gotten used to it, and it never seemed to be a problem in the regular gates when I was a kid or whatever going to the game. But so I walked through there, and they don't really tell you where to go because, like I said, I'm not a season ticket holder there. But I have sat down there in the past, I guess, before they had this premium entrance thing, and it spits you out there right in the concourse on the west side, like with everybody else. Like you walk down the stairs and through the premium entrance, so to speak, and it just spits you right out there, at the concession stand and the concourse with everybody else. So it's not like if you go to other stadiums, I'm sure some other listeners and people have gone in, pro stadiums or other college stadiums. A lot of times the premium entrance does make a little bit of sense because when you go through the gates, when you enter the stadium, you're entering like a club area, or you're entering a whatever it is. Like if you go to a Braves game or a Preds game, whatever, a lot of times when you get through there, you're in the club. So it makes sense to have a separate entrance for people who have the club tickets, because when you enter the stadium, you're already in there, the area with all the, the food and all that stuff. But here it didn't make a lot of sense to me, because you go through this, thing with all these staffers who are making sure that nobody can get through except the premium people. And then you get out of there, you get spit out through the hallway there, and you're just there with everybody else who have been waiting in these other gates. It doesn't make a lot of sense. It spits you out just like it's a regular gate. There's no difference.
Like a total scheme. Like a scheme. I mean, what are we doing? And that,
I didn't understand it at all.
Listen, I'm not trying to start anything here, but that's what the hubbub's all about. I mean, okay, so I got my own little wanding experience, and I got my private 8-on-1 experience, 8 employees to 1. They shake your hand, they put the lanyard on you. But then if they're just going to spit you right out among the general population, what are we doing, Danny? Why were we doing this? Matt, why are they doing that, Matt? Explain that to me. Rather just having it free flow like it always was, and we had to reinvent the wheel. Why are we doing that, Matt? Explain it to me. You're just going to drop you off right in the middle of everybody else.
I'm not sure. The only thing I can think of is it's so that the premium seat holders don't have to wait in a line to get into the stadium. But it obviously seems like they've overdone it and given them way too many, premium gates to enter while taking away the regular gates. I don't know. The whole thing doesn't make sense.
No.
It seems like they created a problem that they didn't really have initially by kind of doing a lot of this stuff with the gates, and then the way that they changed the band stuff. Like,
why?
I mean, it's already crowded on most game days anyway.
Yeah,
and for some reason they made it a lot worse by kind of channeling everybody into the middle. It's like a no middle defense that Danny White played.
Well, greed breeds destruction.
No doubt.
Sounds
Brian.
like.
So C says, here's what C, and I'm going to put words in his mouth, but he said, got a premium seat. I'm thinking to myself, because, your expectation is I go through the premium gate, it's walled off. Like Georgie Boy Plaster got us, our family, tickets for a soccer game this summer when the my Philadelphia Union, who lost to Nashville the other night, by the way, down in Nashville. But my Philadelphia Union were playing in Nashville. We went through the private gate like C is talking about. They put the lanyard on you like C is talking about, but you were walled off. You were never a part of the which I'm not a big fan of, but you were never a part of the stadium experience. This thing here, it's in name only. I mean, they put the lanyard around your neck so you can go find where you're going to walk up. But they could do that letting other people in and have a little line for the other folks.
They could do it in the section itself, because I guess it's called the Lower West Club. You have to walk to the usher up there and say, "Hey, my seats are here in the Lower West Club."
Get your lanyard.
Why can't they have somebody put the lanyard on you there?
But they have to be. And this is Danny White now. This guy is a big pomp and circumstance guy, and he created a problem. But they're going to blame the band. See, what we do on here is I keep it raw. What are you doing? Danny, this is the way we've done it for 100 years, man. It didn't need fixing. It didn't need your brilliance. It didn't. And people almost got hurt Saturday. They can get mad at me all they want. Blame the band all they want. You can blame you can't restrict gates, man. I mean, what are we doing? And especially if C's telling me the truth, which I believe he is, that the premium gates just come out right where all the commoners come out. I mean, what are we doing? What are we, Matt? What are you to gain from that? Explain to me what you're to gain from that, besides making these people feel like they got an extra added value. But what's the added value? There never was a problem getting into the stadium before.
No, the only benefit for those premium ticket holders is they don't have to, in theory, wait in a line to enter the stadium. Because I remember I sat in that West Club once.
Yep.
For like the Akron game in 22.
Yep.
So I think that was the first year of it. And I remember you walk in from the premium gate and you're in just the lower concourse with everybody else. So it's like C said, that was kind of odd, but you didn't have to wait in the line because there's, so few premium seats, tickets that they don't all show up at the same time anyway. So there's just you don't have to wait to enter the stadium. It's the only benefit to that.
But Matt, and I'm just thinking aloud to games I've experienced over there. What's the longest you could wait in a line there? 15 minutes? If every gate is open, the way that thing is designed. 15,
you move
20
pretty
minutes?
quickly through the gates.
You move quickly through the gates. What are we doing?
Unless you're getting there before it opens and there's a long line, of course you're going to wait then. But once it's open.
These people are so hell-bent on squeezing every nickel out of the fan base that they've created an issue for themselves. That's what they've done. I'll call it what it is. And you know what? If I'm the only one in town calling it what it is, when I hear C describe that, you are trying to fix something that didn't need fixing. You think those people that give that money care that they have their own private gate to go to? Versus, let's bottleneck these other gates and create danger? Because I would say they would rather say, come through this gate rather than you be in danger over here, which is what we had the other day. No offense. I didn't do it. And they're trying to get their hands around this. My contention, I hope I'm wrong, is as long as you're bottlenecking people, you're going to have issues with these big games. Because on a beautiful fall Saturday, we are going to congregate. And we are going to tailgate right to the last minute. Because that's what we do. That's a major part of this thing. And so many people are going to converge on the stadium at one time, and you better be able to handle that. Anything else, guys, before we go to the phones? Because that in essence, that's what we're talking about here. Nothing's changed but what they've changed. Like Matt said, they're the ones that made the changes. I didn't make the changes. He didn't make the changes. C didn't make the changes. They're the ones that have made the change. And people have noticed that a lot of the exit entrances they could use are now restricted. I didn't do it, man. Anything else you guys care to add before we go to the phones? Second question. On the transfer window, Matt, are guys allowed to enter the portal when? I need some procedural. Let's talk this out for a second here. Can like Nico? Could Nico go into the portal right now because his coach left? See, I know he doesn't have a red shirt year. I know people are going to tell me he's not going to do it. Okay, fine, I understand that, but he might do it anyway. Okay, but like somebody at Virginia Tech, can they enter the portal right now? See, when's the portal open?
Within 30 days of your coach being fired.
Okay,
you are allowed to enter the portal.
For the rest of the general population, when does the portal open in football?
We don't know, but it sounds like it's going to be January 2nd through the 11th is what the SEC and Big Ten want. It's going to be a 10-day period. They did approve that, but they haven't decided what 10 days because, like I was saying, the other 4 leagues or the other 2 power leagues and then the group of 5 want it to be in the spring because it'll allow them to not have to worry about this raid happening during all the bowl games when the Big Ten and SEC are just going to be going hard, while these kids are at home if they do it in the spring after spring practice, it gives them more time to figure out how much money they need. It gives them more time to acclimate them into their program, get them to go through spring practice, all that stuff. So they're thinking that if they can get it moved to the spring, it'll be less likely that the SEC and Big Ten can totally raid other rosters. But it doesn't sound like they're going to win out. It sounds like the SEC and Big Ten are going to get the January portal.
But wait a second. If you have the January portal, hang on one sec, Brian. I just want to make sure I'm on the same page here with everybody. Okay, let's say it is January 2nd to 11. When does the portal open? When can I enter the portal?
January 2nd is when you can go in.
What? That's total anarchy.
You can stay in the portal as long as you want. That's the thing.
You have to have it between semesters.
Wait a second.
And you could actually, when the season was over by January 8th or 9th, you could have a 2-week window where the semester hasn't started back up yet, and you could have a portal then. But now with the season dragging out through the end of January, it's tough to do it. It would make sense to do it after the last game's been played.
So you
to
have
not penalize teams that play to the last game.
You have to get in the portal between January 2nd and January 11th. That's it?
Yes, you have to get in that. Assuming that's what's passed, which is what the SEC and Big Ten want. They want these kids to have to. If you're not in between those dates, if you don't enter between those dates, you can't enter unless your coach is fired.
Okay, so and then I can exit the portal at any time.
That's right.
Which really would help a Tennessee who's got this micro semester, whatever they call that thing, that mini term deal.
Mini term, yeah.
And help me out, guys. Our semester doesn't begin till when? Second semester. What they call the spring semester. I'm sorry.
It's usually like late January, isn't it? Like 20th.
Yeah.
So the Vols would have
So the Vols would have sometime January 20th.
The Vols would have 3 weeks. If you're a school, if you go 2nd to 11th, and you're a school that starts back like on the 15th, how in the hell do you navigate that? Matt, that does not sound like enough time, does it?
I mean, that's what they've been doing now anyway. And, we talked about it, I think it was this year, that Tennessee starts a lot later than just about every school. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of a benefit for Tennessee to be able to add, players to your enrollment, through really almost until February if you need to, and you can kind of get things expedited along behind the scenes. So I that's the one that it makes the most sense to do it, in between semesters right after the season for football. That it makes the most sense, and it helps players get acclimated to their new team in the spring, which in theory should help them, become better players, and it really helps all teams get better.
To our phones we go. And then I wonder who's the first player that's going to challenge the no portal in the spring, and what are the courts going to say? Because like we were talking with Mark Ingram yesterday, until you do what you're going to do with these guys one way or the other, these athletes, and unionize them and give them rights and all that stuff and have a collective bargaining deal, we're going to have chaos. To the phones we go. The spring portal, in all fairness, has generally been a nothing burger for the most part. This year, Nico provided some fireworks. There were a couple other quarterbacks that jumped in, right, in the spring portal. Help me out here, guys. Angeli, there was one other one. But for
Joey.
Who was it?
Joey Aguilar, obviously.
Oh, yeah. Aguilar and Angeli, yeah, right. And then there was the kid from BYU that got kicked out of school. That was extraordinary.
That was a weird.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was a weird. I don't know if he actually entered the portal or if he just withdrew from school.
Yeah,
and it was like a walk on at too long. Like that one's kind of weird. Yeah. Like Joe Milton was a spring portal quarterback because they went and got him. Remember he publicly committed the day of the spring game.
That's right. Because he had to graduate.
Like he had to get a degree from Michigan back when we were still playing school with all this.
Playing school. When's the last time you heard, Matt, of a guy getting in academic trouble? Speaking of playing school.
What did you asked the AD at UAB that yesterday, didn't you?
Yeah, the answer is, you ready? You don't hear of it. Here, there, or anywhere. It doesn't exist. It does not exist. To the phones we go. Hi, welcome in. You're on our Thursday edition.
Hey, guys, it's Holly.
Hey, Holly, welcome in.
Well, I've got a comment on the snafu at the stadium. I wasn't at the game, so full disclosure there, but I do read a lot about what's going on, and I had tons of friends that were there, and I kind of asked them where they were sitting at the game and what they experienced, and pretty much everybody that was on the east side, it was a nightmare like what you said. The others just said it was really crowded. It was terrible getting out, but sort of expected when, we had a game that ended in the last second.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
All that. But I want to go back to the ball, the security changes is what keeps being said about all these changes this year. So that's been going on for months. I remember the first time I read anything about it was I got a notice that the band's route was changed, quote, for security reasons. Now, as far as I know, they've never said what those security reasons were. It was just quote, security reasons. And I remember when I got that, I guess it was in August, I thought, what do they need to do? And why do they need to change the band's route that's been there forever for security reasons? But, I kind of ignored it because I thought, oh, well, I'm an old ball, and I generally don't want anything to ever change ever up there. And so I was kind of sad about it, but thought, well, maybe there's a lot of stuff going on that I don't know, obviously. But now with everything that has happened and been reported and all, I believe that the main reason for the change is not really security, but to accommodate the premium ticket.
No question.
And I'm like you, Tony. Oh. I have no problem with people being able to afford boxes and special tickets and the food area and all the cool things that happen now. I mean, I get it. That's a great perk, and go for it. But I don't understand why this gate issue and the flow of traffic, which is so critical to safety and security, is part of that perk. We have an old stadium there. I mean, I was thinking about my daddy lived in that stadium when he was in college in the 50s. So we have a beautiful stadium, it's in all, but it's still an old stadium, and it has an old footprint, and we're landlocked and all of those things that are issues, for campus. So I'm thinking at some point, we don't have the operational fortitude or physical capacity to offer every perk that Danny White or his team sees being done at all these new stadiums, at the NFL, because that's what they're looking at, are all these super premium perks, these beautiful new stadiums. And, it's like, to me, it's like a nightmare marketing ploy that's gone bad. I was thinking if I had the money, let's say I had a box on the east side, I can't believe that I would really care that much, especially now, to think I have a gate to go through. Well, heck, you can't even get to the gate to get to your special gate if everything's all jammed up because the flow of traffic and the security measures are not proper. So how does that become a perk if I've got a seat up there? I don't get it. What scares me, and it really scares me, is that this is a terrible, terrible potential safety problem. I think Danny White was so lucky that he didn't have any reported injuries. And, then you think about what you hear a lot of times in Europe, there's these surges and all. And when those happen, there's a surge, and then people fall on top of each other, and then people get scared, and then they start running, and then there's broken bones and even death. And, if one vol gets hurt during a stampede or whatever you want to call it in one of these things, there's going to be heck to pay. And, all in the name of, quote, security. And I don't believe that's security. I think it's a perk thing. And if he thinks he's got problems making money now to pay for NIL and all the millions of things that we need money for. He has no idea what's going to hit him if he has an incident where we have people injured, maimed, or possibly killed. The lawsuit, oh my gosh, will be catastrophic, not to mention, the blemish it'll have on the University of Tennessee. I mean, I cannot believe that our fellow citizens may be being put in danger for perks. I think the line's been drawn. What do you guys think?
Well, I think it's an interesting thought, because C's point was, and he told me this last night, he said, I heard you guys talking, and he said, I could not believe that, because, see, you said that gate is like all dressed up now, like it's like really sort of opulent looking, right? But then it dropped you off in the same area with everybody else. That was kind of when you were going like, what are we doing here? If you could elaborate on that.
That's laughable.
Well,
we get to go through a pretty gate, and then we're right back where we all are.
Elaborate on that, C.
Yeah, it's like roped off, and they have obviously like a big kind of banner above it that says premium seating, and like I said, they have a lot more ushers than what like they have. Like I said, the people who are checking your ticket, then they have the people who are giving you your lanyard and the wristbands, and they're all kind of being really nice to you, which obviously I understand. They're trying to treat the premium customers well, but it was a little overboard, I thought, just because there were so few people going through it that it just seemed like it wasn't a very good use of the stadium, because it's right there in the middle, like, you're at the 50-yard line right there at the center of the west side. And like I said, it took me about maybe 90 seconds, 2 minutes to get from the entrance of that gate down to the concourse. And I was the only person. This is about an hour, I'd say, before the game. I was the only person that entered that gate for 2 minutes.
Doesn't make any sense, Holly. It just doesn't make any sense.
Well, are we going to do a red carpet now? Is that the next thing we're going to do? Are we going to have a red carpet entrance for those that want to give more money? And so we'll have a red carpet, and we can have the paparazzi there, and we can have the velvet, not the fences, but the velvet roped off area. So it can be, look at me. I'm going up because I gave whatever, and I've got a seat. I just don't believe that people are that, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't believe that people are that obnoxious.
No.
That to have all that. I would like to think that my friends and my fellow Vols that are fortunate enough and want to give money to have those great perks are couldn't care less about that.
I agree with
that.
They
just want to get in. And then, I mean, the few times that I've ever sat in a box, and boy, it is nice.
It's very nice.
And all. But the thing I remember, one time I was at Auburn and got to go and sit in a box, and it was so packed going in, and they had a special elevator to go up, and we were with everybody. And then once we got up into our box, that's when the perks happened with the food and the drinks and all that stuff. And I just find it hard to believe that most people really care. They just want to get into the game and get up to their perk seat so they can enjoy their perks and sit there and watch the pageantry and the pre-practice and all that. I think this has gone too far, and it's ridiculous. And I love Danny White. I love the Vols, but man, oh man, stop hiding behind security, because nobody has said, and I'd love for someone to come on and say, okay, this is why we did this for security. I'd be the first to stand aside and say, okay, because I don't want anybody to get hurt ever, anywhere.
Ever. Thank you, Holly. And and the whole thing with the band route and all that and the security, I have no idea what we're shooting for. But I want everybody to be 100% secure. And safety's got to come first. And I wonder if they've bit off more than they can chew with restricting with these premium gates. And it's not my dance floor. But when C describes what he describes, which is that thing looks like a premium gate, but it's really not. because it's going to drop me off with the plebeians anyway. I'm not even getting like the walled-off experience. I still have to walk among, and I believe, this is me, I believe that most people that would use that gate would welcome others to go through that gate so that we're all safe. That's me. That's what I believe. I believe most people would say, you know what? If it makes the flow of this thing work,
well,
let's open all these gates up. We don't need this. This is not necessary.
Before, you've got people who sit on the 50-yard line in the lower level and people who maybe sit at the top of the stadium in the south end zone going through potentially the same gate.
Yep.
Those who are sitting on the 50-yard line, 30 rows up in the lower level, don't give a about whether someone who is sitting in the top row is going through their same gate. I wouldn't think.
I think that's the beauty of sport, Bri. I 100% agree. Why they've arrived at the concept of we're going to give these people their own gate, maybe there's so little that they're giving these people that they have to make it look like that. For instance, see, you just tell me, the food there is free, right? For the people in the where you were in the club. Were you in the club? See, what do they call these seats where you were? Earth to sea. Do they give you seats? Do they give you food? Do they give you drink? Talk to me here.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
When you're in like the skyboxes, it's all free, obviously.
Right.
But yeah, this new Lower West Club, I'd sat in it once before, but I don't know if I had just forgotten. But yeah, the only thing free that I got down there was they did have some coolers at the end there that you could pick up some brown cows for free. But if you wanted to get water or drinks or their meals or whatever they have down there, it's the same price you pay the rest of the stadium.
What?
Yeah, I was a little surprised. I mean, obviously I didn't pay for it anyway, so I'm not complaining, but I was a little surprised based on how it's presented that everything's full price down there. To be honest, it was a little surprising.
Back to the phones we go. TLD Logistics phone lines. Hi, welcome in.
Hey, Tony, this is Kevin in Muletown. How we doing,
Kevin?
brother?
Good to talk to you.
Man, what a kick in the plum Saturday. I wanted to call into your reaction show, but I just didn't have words. But by the way, that reaction show is outstanding. Win or lose, those 4 hours or whatever after the game, that's must listen to. I appreciate you doing that every Saturday.
It was a hard one to do Saturday, man. That was a hard one to do Saturday, my brother.
But you know what? It had to be talked out. We had to talk it out. So it was, and great points by Holly. But by the way, January the 12th is the spring semester start. My daughter goes to school up there, so let you know, January 12th. It's not the 20th or
really?
It's the 12th.
I thought we had a mini term in there.
Well, it might have a mini term, but according to the schedule here, it starts on Monday the 12th.
That's interesting.
No, I think the mini term is between the spring and summer semester. I think that's like in May.
I thought they did a winter term, Bri, a winter mini term, because last year it was like the 28th. Maybe they did away with that. That's interesting.
It was later last year.
Well, that's interesting.
It was in the 20th. But,
so we're not as advantaged now. So you're saying January 12th, and see the window they're talking about right now is the 2nd to the 11th. I think is what I had on the blog today. 2nd to the 11th is the window the Big 10 and SEC wants. Interesting.
I'll say,
Thank you, Kevin.
Hey, real quick. I don't mean to change the subject, but
Go
I
for
really
it.
appreciate.
No, go for it.
I appreciate the recruiting that Heupel has done. I mean, we've upgraded talent.
Yep.
We've really done good in the portal. We're hitting our portal guys.
Yep.
But it just seems to me that we don't value the safety position, and we don't put the money in, or we don't recruit these major, high quality players at safety. And you could see that Saturday that we could have used. We're not going to find an Eric Berry, but we could use a Deion Grant back there. But
always use Deion Grant. But what about the kid they let go to Miami, who's been playing really well for
Jacoby
Miami?
Thomas. I mean,
he's been playing really well. Hey, Matt, why do you think they didn't pay Jacoby Thomas? That's a very interesting little piece there. I wonder if they were just out of funds and you have to pick your spots. What do you think, Matt?
I guess that. And interestingly, I think he was a post-spring portal guy. Like he left after spring, and it kind of surprised everybody just for a little bit of a pay bump. But no, it's a good point. I mentioned it in my thing on Tuesday.
Yep.
You know, you say you don't need Eric Berry back there, but Eric Berry's the last safety we've had drafted into the NFL, and that's
wow.
I mean, it's not even just a high draft pick, but just drafted. Period. We haven't had a safety drafted since Eric Berry. It's really kind of alarming. And that again, that was the biggest difference between the teams. I thought was just the secondary play.
Yeah, Tank McCullough was a free agent. Yes,
he's playing great.
Yeah, he is. And you never would have convinced me of that because another thing with McCullough, and I don't know whether it was scheme or what, but when he was here, he looked like he was running in quicksand.
Well, you would think Tim Banks, who coaches safeties, we would, make that a priority. But that's all I got, brother. Appreciate it.
The thing about Tim Banks, though, which is interesting when you talk to people around the deal, is he's not a recruiter. So he coaches safeties. He's not a recruiter. He kind of gets I don't want to say leftovers, Matt. I don't like how that sounds. But to your point, when you haven't had one drafted in forever, that's been a reoccurring theme here. What year was Eric Berry drafted in the NFL, guys? Like 2008, 2009?
2010.
2010.
God, man, it's 15 years.
I mean, you've had some pretty decent ones, like above average.
Yeah.
Jansen Jackson was talented. I think Brian Randolph was a pretty good college player. Prentice Wagner was pretty decent for what he was. But but we're talking about like an actual like future NFL guy. Like we just haven't had that.
And it's weird. You and I
commented long before Tim Banks got here. It's not just on him.
Yeah, you and I commented in the spring to each other when they let Jacoby Thomas walk. It was very curious. It was like, okay, we don't like this guy. I mean, he can play. And correct me if I'm wrong, he was a portal guy, right? He was a hit out of the portal. Did he come from the portal?
Yeah, from MTSU.
That's what I thought.
He's an in-state kid. That's why it was kind of weird they let him go for a very minor pay raise. You would have – I assumed if Tennessee really wanted to keep him, they would have found a way to pay him.
Which the odd thing is with that deal is – Muletown's right. That's a neat area. And by the way, he flashed last year. He's the guy that we were all talking about being a hit. It's extremely strange, and that safety position. It's kind of like in baseball, that old saying, when you're strong in the middle. Like to me in football, if I've got great middle linebacking play, I've got great defensive tackle play, and I'm okay at the safeties or pretty damn good at the safeties. Like they were pretty good at safety last year with him. I got a good defense. In baseball, when I got a good catcher, my shortstop can play and my center fielder can play, I'm pretty good on defense. I'm a believer in being strong in the middle. Take a brief time out. We come back with more. It's hour number 2. All lines are jammed. It's TGMD, Brian Hartman, and C, along with TB on a Thursday. These are patented, and we basically are going wall-to-wall phones today. More after this.
Whether it's baseball, football, softball, church groups, or schools, if you're raising money, do it with locally roasted Grade A Grounds coffee. I'm Billy Miller, a Vol alum and Knoxville native. You keep 40% of sales, and we donate 5% back to our East Tennessee community. Get started today by visiting our website at gradeagrounds.com.
Score a TD every time with T3 Vodka. T3 is Tennessee's premium vodka, handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. T3 Vodka is taking the Volunteer State by storm. T3 Vodka, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where quality isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. Filtered 10 times and 80 proof. T3 Vodka delivers a smoothness that's unmatched. This dedication to excellence has already earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades. T3 is a 5-time gold medal winning vodka and the 2025 Sips Consumer Choice Award medal winner. Whether you're sipping it neat or on the rocks or mixing up your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka is your choice for a premium, award-winning experience. Score a T3 TD and ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right. Drink T3 Vodka and score a touchdown every time. T3, Tennessee's premium vodka. Distributed by Athens Distributing Company. Please drink responsibly. Basilio here. No one does it like Alumni Hall. I'm here to tell you, living Vol fan, only one place. That's the best place to shop for Tennessee gear, and that's Alumni Hall. The best and largest selection of Tennessee apparel for the whole family. Top brands like Nike and Champion, Columbia, Peter Millar. Load up on hats, accessories, Yeti, all your tailgating necessities. Download the Alumni Hall app, click account, and it'll tell you how much Hall cash you've earned. You earn $10 in rewards for every $150 you spend. Alumni Hall, with physical locations in Murfreesboro, Bristol, and 3 locations in Knoxville, now open in Johnson City. Pop into Alumni Hall and get ready and tell them Tony B sent you.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm gonna hop online and I'm gonna get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
Yeah, it's another day, but what kind of day is it really? A day of doom scrolling? Laundry day? Nah, it's a White Claw day. Light and refreshing tasting, uniquely cold wave filtered. There's an iconic flavor for everyone. So grab a pack, grab your friends. Make the most of each day with those who matter most. When you're together with White Claw, every day is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You just gotta grab it. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Got a problem tree looming over your home? Call ECR Total Landscapes. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, our certified pros get the job done safely and efficiently. We're licensed, insured, and ready 24/7 for emergency calls. Big or small, we cut them all. ECR Total Landscapes. Call now for a free estimate, 865-384-2012, and mention promo code FANRUN for free stump grinding on any tree removal now through the end of the year. Also, visit us at ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Basilio here for Budget Transmissions. TGMD, the great Matt Dixon, took his Ford Escape to budget, and like our gold bullet back in the day, it was a total mess. And now, Matt's back in the game. He's got a new transmission, axle, wheel bearing, both radiator hoses, engine mounts, coolant hoses. I mean, his Ford Escape was about to escape to the junkyard, but he didn't begrudge it. He took it to budget, and now he's on his way back to Omaha. Budget Transmissions, over 30 years in business, conveniently located in Bearden. All extended service contracts are honored. A gold certified Repair Pal member. 865-584-4391. 865-584-4391. Budget Transmissions. Don't begrudge it. Take it to budget.
Hey there, Basilio family. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. The countdown to fall football is on. Is your fall plan missing the perfect home to watch the Vols make another playoff run? If a new view is on your game day checklist, I'm ready to help you find it. Don't wait until kickoff. Give me a call today at 865-694-5904 or visit my website at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama Zizi approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and Zizi.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols!
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
Taking you up to the playbook with William Pattison, which is a way of life. Tony Basilio, alive and well with you. We're going to go back to our TLD Logistics phone lines here momentarily. One huge story that you can watch for. I'm hearing by the end of September they want to drop the new schedule. I hear it's pretty much done. I think Tennessee fans are going to like the 3 permanent opponents. See, you and I were talking about this yesterday. It almost doesn't matter who your 3 permanent opponents are, because any combination of teams in this league going forward, you're going to have a nasty schedule when they add that extra game. Formidable, nasty.
Yeah, in kind of looking at what we've heard, it seems like you're going to have 5 difficult games every year. Even if you get a favorable permanent draw, you're going to have most years. It seems like 5 losable games out of the 9, and 4 games maybe you should win on paper most years. And so, I mean, like, I don't know how much of an advantage it is, like you're saying. Like, if you just think about who you could possibly play in a year, like even if you get Alabama and then 2 easier permanent opponents, it's still possible you could say get, Texas, Texas A&M, LSU, and Auburn all in one season as rotating opponents. And then the next year, that would mean you're going to get Florida, Georgia, Ole Miss, and who am I missing? Oklahoma.
State. Oklahoma, yeah.
As your 4 plus Alabama every year. So I think you're going to have 5 losable games most years in SEC play. And then some years you're going to have now the other difficult thing about this is you're going to have some years every 4 years where you have to play like both Alabama and Georgia on the road, or maybe Alabama, Georgia, and Oklahoma all on the road the same year. So you're going to have some really difficult schedules with this 9-game schedule, even with the what seems like it's going to be a favorable draw with the 3 permanents that Tennessee's likely to get.
Hey, Matt, will the rest of the league freak out when they see that it's going to be Tennessee, Vanderbilt? Tennessee's 3 will be Vanderbilt, Alabama, and it sounds like right now, of course, all this stuff's subject to change. I remember during COVID, there were all these schedules kicked around and these guys fought and argued behind the scenes, but it looks like right now it's going to be Kentucky. I'm not reporting that, but it looks like it's going to be Kentucky. Matt, if that ends up being the case, we got to give Danny White a lot of credit for that. Whether he deserves the credit or not, we were on here saying you got to fight for that historical rivalry, and they ought to keep it intact. And I'm not sure how much, and I know this is easy for me to say as a Tennessee fan, I'm not sure how much of an advantage it is, Matt, because the schedules are nasty anyway. I mean, the sneak peek or the sense that what I'm hearing that the rest of the schedule could be next year is like ridiculously hard. So, what do you think?
we're talking about 3 of your 9, and really specifically, we're talking about 1 game out of 9 in particular. So, over like a decade span, it might be worth a win, but it's really not a huge difference. Whether it's South Carolina, Florida, Kentucky, whoever, there's really not a huge difference over like a long run. So, but it would be a help for Tennessee, and it's what should happen. I mean, Tennessee is both Kentucky and Vanderbilt's biggest rival in this league, and there's no way around that. And we can talk about the Arkansas and all these schools that quote unquote don't matter that run around the track. The league should at least give every school at least one of their like real true rivals. Let them kind of handpick who they want. And for Vanderbilt and Kentucky, that would obviously be Tennessee.
Back to the phones we go. It's really well put. And let's get our next call in. So if you're a Wildcat fan and you're listening, I think it's a pretty good chance that series continues based on our information. I hope it comes to fruition. Again, these schools, all this stuff is subject to change because they get behind closed doors and they fight like crazy, as we know. Let's go back to our TLD Logistics phone lines. It's hour 2 on the Tony Basilio Show. We're live tomorrow down at Calhoun's on the River. I'll be down there. Russell Smith will be down there from 3 to 6. It's gonna be incredible tomorrow. It's gonna be insane. Ringing in the UAB weekend. Let's go! Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Basilio, Bobby, getting the band back together down at Calhoun.
There we go.
I love it. Can I give you a little on the scene from Saturday and what it was like to watch it? Our tailgate is right outside the premium gates. Okay, hilarious. No people in line. Steve is exactly right. 0 people in that line at all. One of the ironies of it is those people couldn't even get to it because it was such a cluster. Right? I saw 3 medical emergencies outside the stadium while people were standing there. People were just flat out passing out, Tony.
Oh, geez.
And then when they would get the medical personnel to them, they couldn't get out. They are so lucky somebody didn't die. Like, as a person, I know you've said it, and I'm agreeing with you, but as a person who witnessed it 3 different times, because my wife and I just said, we're just going to wait until the whole thing clears and then we'll go in. I've always heard, majority rules, and we live in America, so the majority rules and all that jazz, right, Tony? We don't live in an oligarchy or anything like that. And last time I checked, not doing well by, call it 107,000 people, or 97,000 people for those extra 4,000 or 5,000 people is not right. It's unhealthy. It's scary. And I agree with what you said earlier. That's actually one of the reasons I was going to call in earlier today was what you said. There's no way those 5,000 people have such a nose up in the air mentality that they don't care about the 97,000 that are right outside with them.
It makes no sense to me.
They're probably tailgating with those people.
Yeah, it makes no sense to me. It's not who we are.
It's insanity.
It's not who they are.
It's insanity.
And it's not who we are. And if you were to tell them, hey, we're creating a bottleneck situation over here so that you, like C said, C told me last night, he's like, it's almost embarrassing that I walk through my gate when I'm looking down and I'm looking at the big, huge, what's going on down there.
The kerfuffle.
Yeah, and it's all walled off. I mean, this is not what sport is supposed to be.
Those people don't want to feel like. Well, one of the reasons we do it, as you've said before, is community.
Of course,
those people want to feel like normal people.
Of course,
I know that sounds wild, but they want to feel like normal people.
It might work if you're dealing with a basketball situation where you have 15,000 people, and some might have their own gate to go in where they don't have to interact or go through the others. But football, I don't think you can do that.
But, Brian, why are you fixing something that's not broke? That's my point.
Well, they created the problem. There it is, Tony. The first problem, Tony, was the electric tickets. The electronic ticket only thing. The reason they did that is so they can track your every movement and track your tickets and see what you're doing with them.
So they can take them from
Not that you can't be scalping them. That's exactly why they did that.
Because they want to be scalping your tickets, not you scalping your
tickets.
That's exactly right.
Not that they would do anything like that, Tony. They would never. Danny would never tell somebody that he's selling to a third party.
No.
And say that we're not filling our actual season ticket allotment. That would never happen, right?
I mean,
and then the second problem is once they went to the electronic tickets, it was a cluster for the first year of that. It took hours to get in the game for that. No joke. It took me and my wife over an hour once to get in the game because we got to the ticket gate and our ticket didn't scan in. So we had to go back and get paper tickets, ironically. Okay? And then they create this premium thing. It was okay. I'll use the words okay last year. It was okay. But then they've put on this extra layer of security. Tony, a fence row runs for their game day fencing, runs straight up to our tailgate. One of the medical emergencies I saw, Tony, was a young man kicked down the gate and broke his ankle when it fell on him. Like, it was like nothing. It was mob mentality like nothing I've ever seen. And changing a damn band route is not going to get it done. That's not going to do anything because those people have marched through an hour before any of us are going to leave our tailgates. As you said, community, right? We're gonna tie one on. We're going to have a good time before a game, and we're all going to go in about 30 minutes before kickoff. It just makes no sense. It's creating danger. How about two gates? Let's just assume there's 5,000 people. You get 2 premium gates, not 5. It's insane. And nobody's going to go to gate 9. It's too far from all the tailgates. It's even far from G10 theoretically. So if you're coming from the Circle Park where most people hang out or somewhere an S9 across, you're either going in gate 21 or you're going in gate 14. It's been that way for a million years and will always be that way. So they should have expanded gate 14. That's just my thoughts. Have a good one.
It is wild. And to my friend in Muletown, it looks to me like January 20th is my information on when spring semester starts. So you're going to have your daughter for another 8 days. And Tennessee's still in that spot like Matt was talking about, that sweet. So they go to January 2nd to the 11th. They will still be, and they do still have a winter mini-term, which is January 6th to the 16th, which is what I was talking about. And that winter mini-term, I understand, generates a lot of money for them. And if I was a student, I would jump all over that winter mini-term, okay? Because that's easy credits. Easy credits. Get in, get out. Get something out of the way.
Yeah. And in addition to it's starting, whenever it does, the ad drop date will be like 7 to 10 days after that.
That's right.
And since we're talking about athletes and that would obviously factor in there too, where you could add somebody in theory about a week after school actually starts.
Like almost like a 2-week window is what it used to be. Yeah. I'll have to look into that.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, but you're right. And so not only do you have the 20th, but maybe you can go to like February 4 or February 2 with it or whatever it is. But hello and welcome in. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, you can also, I think they can do these online classes or whatever. Like the kid who was playing in Israel for that thing, he didn't get here until like last week, and the class has been going for like a month. So they can finagle this. If there's somebody in the portal they want it doesn't want to decide until February or whatever, they can throw them in there and make it work.
Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony. This is B Squared in Memphis.
Hey, welcome in.
I've been trying to call you a few times this week, but I guess you got thousands and thousands of people calling in, actually, besides just listening to you. I was going to call and talk about the crowd as well. We always tailgate up in Circle Park in those tents up there, and our tickets are on the east side in the upper deck, so we normally go up the ramp by G10, and we kind of just, I guess, south of Peyton Manning Pass, there's like parking lots you can kind of usually walk across to get down to Philip Fulmer Stadium Drive. And we were walking down that way, and it was just all of a sudden the crowd just stopped. And so we're just kind of waiting because there was a lot of people. Then everybody started coming back up the hill towards us. So at that point, we turned and went down kind of past Peyton Manning Pass to where that parking lot is right next to that, and got to Philip Fulmer Way, and we're heading back south on Philip Fulmer Way. And I just want to emphasize, it wasn't just people like standing in line. Like, it was a complete bottleneck, like what you would think of like a soccer game, of people being like smushed together. That's what it was like. Like, I don't know. It was I've been going to games for over 40 years, and I've never seen anything like that.
That's what you're describing is kind of scary. Yes,
it was very scary.
Yeah,
it was very scary. My dad's 82, so he goes into the game a lot earlier than us. But that's what entered my mind. If like he had been with us at that point, I mean, it would have been. It was scary even for me, really. But for somebody elderly like that, like could have been really dangerous because I don't know how anybody would have been able to get to you if anything happened to you.
And somebody with a health issue or underlying health issue or whatever, boy, that's scary stuff, man. So you say that as you're making your way down, as you were making your way down, the crowd was making its way up, which led you to believe, hey, we have an issue here.
Well, it was just everybody going the opposite ways, which is normally the case, but there's always room to still be able to finagle your way and walk, but you're in complete like shoulder to shoulder, chest to back, and people going both ways, and then there wasn't a lot of pushing, but I mean I had to say to a lady like, hey, like there's nobody's moving. You can't keep walking to the back of us. Like we're not moving.
Oh wow! So you had people behind you.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. And then apparently I heard somebody else say that they had left the gates out there. My son and my nephew, they were in the student section, and they said when they came out, like, I don't know exactly where they came out, but there was one of those barricades that was like blocking this whole crowd of people. And like basically that whole crowd of people shoved that barricade down, like to get through. Like I don't know exactly where they were when they came out, but I don't know. I was totally shocked. And another thing I want to say is like, yeah, it's a big game and people are waiting, but I mean, the stadium capacity is, used to be more.
Well, obviously, and what they're selling us is that this new thing they've done with the band is the reason. I don't buy that. Do you?
I do not.
No. Yeah, here's the reason. When I take several gates that people used to walk through, and I restrict flow now, because I'm trying to give them a quote-unquote premium experience. And as C said, which is very illuminating, the premium experience entails them popping out right in the middle of the general public. What are we doing? Exactly what are you? That's the value. And I would say to anybody listening to me that those people that are premium ticket holders, if they looked over there and saw you getting smushed like a sardine, would say, come over here and walk through our gate, because that's who we are. That's who we are as a people. I really believe that. I don't think those people want that experience at the expense of jamming everybody together like sardines, like they did the other day. And I hope they solve it, because they're going to get another shot at it when the Oklahoma game happens. That's going to be the real test.
Oh, they're going to have to, or something bad eventually will really happen.
Well, and then all these shiny buildings, that stuff's not going to matter if that goes on.
Can I touch on one other thing, changing the subject? I know y'all have already talked about this, but I was with my 14-year-old son and my dad at the game, and I guess like right before we took the field kick, I just kind of said to my dad, I was like, man, this has been a hell of a game so far. And I don't know, my son took it as me being cocky. He's like, Dad, don't be cocky. I'm not being cocky. I'm not saying we're going. I'm just saying this has been an awesome game. I'm appreciative of the game. And then of course, we missed the kick and we lost in overtime. And I had another thing too. I don't want to go into this, but leaving the stadium, my dad got a parking pass this year on parking garage on Lake Avenue, and we sat in the parking garage in my truck for 2 hours before we were able to start moving.
I've had other people tell me that. I've had people tell me they've never seen leaving traffic, even games that have ended, like overtime games back in the day, and that was an overtime game, obviously, but, even the craziest of games. I think if Tennessee would have won, nobody would have had issues, because I think 35 or 40,000 people would have stayed. and the people that wanted to
Right.
get out of there could have gotten out of there. I think that was a perfect storm. But the getting in thing,
And there's that many people leaving all at the same time.
yeah, it's not
I
going to
get that
happen.
more.
Yeah, our infrastructure is not made for that.
But I know y'all have already touched on this, but I really was kind of thinking about it, and I really thought this was probably the most heartbreaking loss that I've been to. And I've talked to some other friends of mine, being in Memphis. Somebody mentioned, the Memphis '96 game, that was more heartbreaking to them. And I was at the Notre Dame '90 game when
oh my
thought we were going to come back and win, and
painful.
the Alabama '90 game with the field goal getting blocked. I was at the Oklahoma 15 game. I even think like the Florida 2000 game when Jabbar Gaffney, they awarded him that touchdown. But I just feel like with this, like being that many years of not beating them, and then really during the game, really like having the feeling like, man,
we belong.
This isn't like a 1 year thing. Like I feel like we're back in where we're supposed to be, and you just felt like it was going to happen.
Yep.
And then just right there, it's snatched away from you.
And Georgia, like Matt was saying the other day and wrote in his blog, Georgia does it to a lot of teams. There are a lot of teams in this league. There have been playoff teams that felt like they had Georgia beat, and Georgia figures out a way with this guy to get up off the deck. Hey, the 14-point deficit that they faced in the first quarter, a lot of teams would have wilted. Not those guys. They just keep right on plugging. It's like they don't even look at the scoreboard. I don't know how this guy does that. And they exploited some weak points in our offensive line, and we didn't exploit ours on theirs enough, and they won the game. And
Yeah.
I don't blame that kicker, by the way. I don't, because it shouldn't have come to that. I don't blame the kicker. I mean, he's got to make the kick, but that's just that game. Like you told your son, was a classic college football game, and it's why we love the sport so much.
Yeah, and that's what's going to make you appreciate the one that we do win.
Sure, absolutely.
It was very similar to the Alabama game, 3 years ago. And
sure.
You think about it, if the same thing would have happened in that Alabama game that happened Saturday, we'd probably be even more heartbroken because it's Alabama. But it would have been the same feeling.
Well, and I appreciate your call. Thank you, and I appreciate you sharing your sentiments and your story with us. And I'm glad that nobody around you faced anything terrible. Here's a thought for you guys, for the panel. I think one of the reasons why the game is so painful, and I've thought about that this week. If you win that game, you are the favorite in this league right now. We know what the game meant.
You're possibly favored to win every game after it.
It's crazy.
Possibly.
No, you're right, Bri. You could have. I don't know that you'd have been favored with Alabama. You weren't going to be favored at Alabama. But, Bri, you could have talked yourself into we're going to win every game after this. You could have. Because you've proven you could do it. And that.
And, you can still talk yourself into an 11-1, even at that.
More power to you. I'm not. But more power to you if that's what you're doing. I'll tell you this. If you prove, Matt, you can win a game like that, all of a sudden it totally elevates your program. If you win that game, you're seen in a completely different light. And college football has always been a sport of perception, always, from time immemorial. There are certain games when you win them, all of a sudden you're in a different class. Hey, 2022, when Tennessee beat Alabama, you're seen in a different light, whether that's fair or not, whether that's right or not, whether that's just or not. You win one of those games, and all of a sudden you wake up in a different reality. So, anybody have any thoughts on that? I think that's why the game hurts so bad, because you could have won, and you should have won.
And it's been almost 10 years since they beat that team, so.
Well, you guys were talking amongst yourselves, because I think Alabama's going to get Georgia, because I think Alabama's going to exploit their tackle play, and they're going to beat them, because Georgia has porous tackle play. And I think they're going to design something, and they're going to beat those. Kind of like the Alabama team a couple years ago had porous tackle play. And Alabama in the Florida State game looked like they had porous offensive line play. But what were you guys telling me the last time they've lost a game there, guys? Who was it and when was it?
South Carolina in overtime.
I mean, that's ridiculous. You haven't lost a home game in 6 years?
And, they haven't lost a home game in regulation in longer than that.
Hey, Matt, do you have a
think about
thought on our yesterday we threw some quarterback rankings up in the league. This year is so good quarterbacking-wise that 10 could be 1 and 1 could be 10. Do you agree with that, Matt, when you look at the through 3 games now? Obviously, it's a small sample size. But the quarterback play is really good in this league right now.
Yeah, it's really deep.
Yes.
Just kind of like the overall teams. And, yeah, you can go 1 through, 10, 12, and there's not a huge drop-off. I think it's interesting. I saw a stat, I think it was yesterday, that only 4 SEC teams are averaging less than 30 points a game. And obviously, the schedule matters in that. But the quarterbacks of those 4 teams, it was like Arch Manning, Lenore Sellers, DJ Lagway, and Garrett Nussmeier, who a lot of people would have said might have been the 4 best quarterbacks in the league. And they're the lowest scoring offenses right now. It's the elite quarterbacks, or the perceived elite quarterbacks, really struggling and really in all cases taking a step back.
And then you add to that,
everybody else kind of elevating is really fascinating.
It's weird. Add to that, the kid from Clemson's really struggling, who we all thought coming into this year was going to be phenomenal. Now they haven't surrounded him with a running game, and that's kind of hurt them. But he's struggling. The kid from Penn State, they've been getting on him, Matt. He's kind of struggling. I mean, it is a strange first 3 weeks in major college football. Strange. And C and I were talking the other night, and we're like trying to list these guys and how you distinguish one from the other at the top of this league. I would speak to that. I mean, it's very difficult. Very difficult.
Yeah. I mean, even like Taylon Green, I can't remember where you ended up putting him on the list, but I mean, Taylon Green, I think could argue who he made. He's second or third. I mean, yeah. I think he has the highest QBR in the league, and he's been very impressive. Even with that terrible defense, they've beaten some teams badly that have been able to move the ball against them. And then in that Ole Miss game, they got in a shootout, and he functioned pretty well. He's been really, really impressive, and the numbers are really good. But I mean, I think you could make an argument he's second or third, or down at 7th or 8th. And I don't think that there's just so little difference between those guys who are anywhere between 1 and 8 or 9. Even it's kind of like, just what do you prefer? Pavia has been about as good as anybody could expect. You could put him. I wouldn't be opposed to putting him in the top 2 or 3 either.
Totally
but
agree.
Obviously, there's some guys who maybe throw the ball better than him. So there's no difference, I don't think, through 3 weeks here.
And to Matt's point, the guys that you thought that were getting all the hype. Hey, correct me if I'm wrong. Arch Manning was a favorite to win the Heisman, wasn't he? Beginning of the year, one of the 3 guys?
Yeah, Nussmeier and Manning and
who else?
Aller. And Lagway were, I think, the top 4 in the preseason.
I mean, you cannot make this up. Those guys, you couldn't. Well, the Nussmeier guy maybe, and that's simply because his team's winning is why he hangs around. But guy, he's sucked on 9 continents so far. Are you kidding me? This is so fun. Go Joey football, go. Go, Joey football.
How they use him. It's weird.
It is. You're right, Matt. They're asking.
Last year, he was kind of that gunslinger that would throw in the tight windows and have big plays for both teams with the interceptions. This year, he's much more of a game manager. They do so much stuff pre-snap. Like, he looks like Peyton Manning out there trying to get everybody lined up. It's really strange how much they put on him. But if it clicks for him, then LSU's dangerous. But it's weird. It's like he's a totally different quarterback.
I will say this about Nussmeier: there are some rumblings that he's got a somewhat severe injury that they're hiding. I've heard
that would make sense then to what Matt's talking about, because they're not letting him freewheel.
The rib thing, the rib injury or whatever it was.
No, I think he may have, against Clemson. It sounds like he may have injured his oblique on his throwing shoulder.
And by the way, the Lagway guy. I mean, Mark Ingram was saying yesterday these guys have 0 NIL. I disagree with that. Pepperidge Farm would give him a multi-million-dollar deal for their apple turnovers if he keeps this up. Heat, you think that cookie company here in town? They got nothing on that guy. That guy's the apple turnover king.
Guests appear on the TLD Logistics Hotline. Online at tldlogistics.com.
You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land? Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contract. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold, refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a two-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis.
Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Whether it's baseball, football, softball, church groups, or schools, if you're raising money, do it with locally roasted Grade A Grounds coffee. I'm Billy Miller, a Vol alum and Knoxville native. You keep 40% of sales, and we donate 5% back to our East Tennessee community. Get started today by visiting our website at gradeagrounds.com.
Fall officially begins this month, so now is the perfect time to make sure your home's HVAC system is ready for the season ahead. Don't ignore the warning signs that your heating or cooling system is struggling or nearing the end of its lifespan. And if you need fast, reliable HVAC repairs, seasonal preventative maintenance, or want to invest in a new high-efficiency system, then call the trusted HVAC experts at Pipe Wrench Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Whatever HVAC problems you encounter, our certified technicians will make a full assessment and then provide the best long-term solution to keep your home comfortable again all year long. We make it easy with free on-site estimates for replacements and free second opinions on repairs. And if budgets are tight, we offer flexible payment plans including 0% financing with credit approval. Be sure to ask about our 10-plus year warranties that are 2 times longer than industry standards so you don't spend a cent on unexpected costs in the future. So call Pipe Wrench at 865-264-8090 or book online at pipewrench.com to schedule your appointment today. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Hey there, Basilio family. Jennifer Morse here with Keller Williams Realty. The countdown to fall football is on. Is your fall plan missing the perfect home to watch the Vols make another playoff run? If a new view is on your game day checklist, I'm ready to help you find it. Don't wait until kickoff. Give me a call today at 865-694-5904 or visit my website at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Tony Basilio, and we are live once again with Chad Stockton of FC Alliance. And Chad, you're out there on the field, 100 strong here in Knoxville. Talk to me. What's been going on with FC Alliance now that the weather's heating up?
We're out here for the first night of the boys' tryouts. We have over 400 kids that'll be here tonight. So a lot of exciting times right now for us. Our club team start at U9 and we go all the way through U19. We have over 1,000 kids that come from Chattanooga from the Tri-Cities that make all our teams and make this club what it is today. So we're excited about it. We finished the younger kids a couple of weeks ago. We just finished the girls last night, and now we're on to our older boys program as we speak right now.
And we're blowing and going in the Tri-Cities. Tell me about it.
We started FC Alliance North 1 year ago, and coming off the first year, we are the largest, most competitive club up in the Tri-Cities area. We just finished our tryouts last night. Looks like right now we will be well over 400 kids for the upcoming season. So great things happening up there. We've put our boys into some really good regional leagues. So we're excited about what the future holds for them and also our girls programs.
If you want more information, check them out at fcallianceknox.org. That's fcallianceknox.org. Chad Stockton, keep growing the beautiful game here in East Tennessee.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tony.
Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy. That's you.
Wow. I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care, I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff. It's called The Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
When it's past high noon, it's time for a vodka soda made with a vodka you've actually heard of. I'm talking White Claw vodka soda made with White Claw premium vodka. JB Smooth only drinks vodka soda made with the world's smoothest vodka.
And you can too. Pick you up a bottle of the triple wave filtered vodka that's been distilled 5 times. White Claw premium vodka comes in 4 flavors: black cherry, mango, pineapple, and just vodka. You haven't had vodka like this. No one has. White Claw Premium Vodka. Please drink responsibly.
Tony B here with the great Zakai Ziegler for
Hey,
Advent.
whoa. Tony, I got this. Hey, Tennessee, it's Easy here. Next time you have an electric issue at your home or business, call my friends at Advent Electric. With offices in Knoxville and Nashville, it's Mama's Easy approved.
You heard it from the most electrifying player in the league. Call the service professionals at Advent Electric, 865-588-0631. Online, adventelectric.com. Tell them ZZ sent you. Tony B back with you, 865-200-5402. It's a Thursday. I got C in the house along with TGMD. Brian and yours truly. We'll go back to our TLD Logistics phone lines. We are cooking and booking today and rolling. Tomorrow we're live at Calhoun's on the River. I'll be out there. And then the great Dubsy Smith will be out there from 3 to 6 as well. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony B. It's TC in Athens.
Hey, brother. Good to talk to you.
Thanks, man. Brother, I got to be honest, man. This one, I've kind of gotten to where games don't bother me that much. You know, the loss. I mean, obviously, I want to win every one of them, but the losses haven't been as huge to me. You know, because of the time I get to spend with my daughter and friends at these games, and just that sense of community that we've talked about a lot of times, but. Bro, I got to be honest with you. This one absolutely ticked me off. I was so angry after this loss. And, for the most part, I'm in a text thread with a bunch of Georgia fans I play golf with all the time. And for the most part, every one of them were just like, wow, incredible game. You all deserve that one. We escaped, all that. But, boy, there were a couple that wanted to talk crap, I'll say, on – and I was in no mood for it, and certainly let them know I was in no mood for it. And that one just hurt, man. It was like the 2001 SEC championship game, the Oklahoma game, the 2001 Georgia game. Those were ones that just last, and this one will last.
I call them ball scars, man. I mean, there are certain losses in that sport. You don't get them in basketball because you know, hey, I'll get you back. You don't get them in baseball because you know I can get you back. Something about the football deal where those things really leave a mark on you, especially when you outplay somebody like that.
I mean, I know everybody says, should have done this, should have done that. Mm-hmm. Bottom line is we did everything we had to do to win that game except put a kick through the upright, period.
Mm-hmm.
And it was right there.
Sure.
So anyway, hey, I did send you. I tweeted you a couple of pictures right outside of the stadium, literally 30 minutes before game time.
Oh, I'll look at those. Okay.
Yeah, I tweeted a couple of days ago, I think, because it will blow your mind when you see it for yourself. And the picture was taken at 3:01 p.m. and it is a miracle. And what I don't understand, a couple things it just blows my mind. I don't get it. They still had, and people have talked about it, they still had these barriers up and these gates up after the game, trying to herd massive amounts of people through these small areas with these gates and these barriers after the game. Made zero sense. Get that crap out of there and let us leave.
And Matt's right. After a close loss like that, where your emotions are on edge, that's a great point, Matt, you bring up. They are very fortunate there wasn't pushing, shoving, because inevitably in a crowd, you're going to have people that are going, this Heupel guy sucks. He's never going to win. You know what I mean? And people behind people walking are like, look, I don't want to listen to that. Or you're going to have Georgia fans barking at you, look, I don't want to listen to that. And when you're all in close quarters like that, that's asking for an incident versus, hey, we can disperse and spread out, which is what we've done in years past. It sounds to me like they're very, 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 very fortunate that somebody didn't get hurt the other night, like really hurt.
It's an absolute miracle.
Yes.
And the other thing that just makes zero sense, so we got moved this year. I loved where I used to park at White Avenue Parking Garage,
right.
Man. Phenomenal place. I could get out of there in 10 minutes and be on the interstate and gone.
Right.
Now I've gotten moved because I guess all the stuff they're doing at G10, I guess. And we got moved to, it's called G7. It's down by Alan Jones Aquatic Center. So instead of us being able to just get right there on Neyland Drive and hit either Kingston Pike or the interstate, for some reason, now they funnel everyone from that garage all the way back to Thompson Bowling Arena. And to get on Neyland Drive. So we sat in that garage, Tony. I'm not kidding. We stayed with my mom in Hardin Valley that night. Take a guess at what time I pulled into our house, and I went straight there.
Let's see. The game ended around, what, 7:15 Eastern, something like that?
Yeah.
You got there probably about 10 o'clock.
11:15.
What? What?
Yeah.
What? What?
And we literally went straight to her house, did not stop.
Hey, Matt, why don't you give your secret away? You and your dad's secret. When you want to share that with people on the air right now?
Well, it's related to where our seats are and where our parking garage is on White Avenue that's on the other side of the strip. But
yeah.
No, it sucks. I hate that for you, TC, because, I mean, there's a lot of people who would have your experience that wouldn't go back to games.
That's my point. A friend of mine
That's what sucks. And that's even a bigger cup check. You had a potential all-time great memory that turned into just a disaster and a nightmare.
A friend of mine said he's not coming back.
Moving for over 2.5 hours.
ATC, a friend of mine said he had the same experience, that his daughter was getting sick, and he said, I'm never coming back. He said, and I love my alma mater. I love my school. He said, as long as that AD's there, I ain't doing it. He said, because that's ridiculous what they did to us. And I told him, I don't know whose fault it is, the traffic thing. I don't pretend to know all that. People tell me that the UT cops have taken over from the city, and that's the problem, and they've done all this rerouting. And, again, I'm back to this. Why are we reinventing the wheel? Why are we reinventing the wheel?
Well, guys, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for letting me jump on, Tony.
Hey, thank you, brother. Good talking to you. And go Vols to you. And I know what he's saying. Like, the older I've gotten, the more I appreciate the community of all this, you know? Like, that's what games are to me. We do our post-game show, and the other day I was, like, conflicted because I'm sitting there going, you know, we did so many great things, and I didn't think this team was capable of doing that. I don't think most of us did.
You know,
Hey, it sucks that we lost that game. It sucks even worse that
One
people had this experience.
One alternative to some of these parking garages is the Children's Hospital garage, which is up as far away from the stadium, but if you can walk, if you're going west especially, it's easier. You can get out of that garage in 30 minutes and you can be gone west quickly. Now, I don't know if Saturday would have made a difference, but that's where I parked before.
Yeah,
just to not be so close to the stadium, and you have to walk a ways, but
yeah, my strategy has always been to walk.
Traffic.
My strategy has always been to walk away from the traffic and get on the periphery, whether it's on the other side of the fort or wherever you can go. That's always been my strategy. But let's get our next call in. Hello and welcome. You're on a Thursday edition. Hi.
Tony, they're much better than TC in Athens. That dude is just met him in person a couple times. Just the best dude on earth, man.
He's solid
gold.
That
guy.
He was with us. He was with us one night at a gig, and our singer kind of had issues. He came up and sung songs and saved the gig for us. My boy TC can sing. He can sing it. He can sing it.
Yep. He flat out has pipes for days. Wanted to throw a little Georgia-Alabama game, maybe help some people out there on my take on that game. Nick Saban and Kirby Smart aren't coaching defense at Alabama anymore. I'll start with that. That defensive staff's nothing special down there. And then to play with Georgia or to threaten Georgia, you need to have you a 6'5" wide receiver that when Georgia goes one-on-one, which they ultimately will, that's who Kirby is. He's eventually going to say, I'm going to dare your guy to beat my guy. You got to have that guy to attack to attack Kirby, and Alabama don't have that. They got Ryan Williams, who's 5'11", 135 pounds, they might throw up some balls to, like he caught one to win the game last year in Tuscaloosa. But I would lean Georgia pretty heavily in that game because the matchups looked like they're Georgia's favor. Oh, and Bama can't run the football at all. Bama can't run the ball, and if you can't run the ball against Kirby, good luck.
Yeah, I think Alabama's going to win the game, but I hear what you're saying.
No, I know you're big on Alabama, and so are most of the models out there. Most of the models still have Alabama as would be favored over everybody but like 3 teams on a neutral field,
which is wild. Yep.
I think that's a bad matchup, and I think in Athens it's a bad matchup, and I don't think Nick's in Alabama anymore.
They don't. Hey, listen, you guys are right. I mean, Georgia doesn't lose on their field, so there is that.
Yep. And we're in. I think we're all guilty of being in a 17-year window of the dude whose dad never loved him still being the coach. And we're also trained that number on the side of the helmet means that, everybody's afraid of him, and I don't think anybody is anymore.
What do you guys think? Is Alabama diminished, Matt, in your opinion?
Yeah, it's post Saban. They obviously are. Obviously not. They're not as bad as the Florida State thing. That was just a disaster, but it'll be a tough task for them to go down to Athens and win.
Do they make
really tough?
Matt,
they have a lot of holes.
Do they make a playoff, Matt?
They have to win. I think they have to win in Athens to do it. So right now I would say no. I think if they lose in Georgia, they're headed for another 9-3 season.
What would their other loss be in your mind?
I think is LSU. I think LSU's at home. LSU potentially. They play Oklahoma. I just think that they'll lose one of those games just because of how balanced the league is, and you play a C+ or B- game. At Missouri's a trap game.
At Missouri's a good one. Auburn at the end of the year.
Yep.
I wouldn't sleep on that.
I don't think people
are afraid of Bama coming into their building. I think going to Tuscaloosa is still an issue, but they're a good home team. They haven't lost there yet under this coach, but on the road, it's not the same.
Pretty good point, guys.
they're losing 2 more games this year at least between LSU, Georgia, Oklahoma, Auburn, Missouri, and Tennessee. That's 6 ball games.
It's a hell of a
They're
schedule.
not going 5-1 in those.
That's a hell of a schedule.
You know, Georgia, since Kirby Smart's first season there, they've lost 1 game in their building. And they lost that game in overtime. They haven't lost a regulation home game since 2016.
That's offensive, man.
Under Kirby Smart.
That's offensive. That offends me.
Oh, Alabama has to play Diego Pavia, who isn't scared of them. I know it's in Tuscaloosa, and I know they're freaking Vandy. And he also has to go play at Lenore Sellers, assuming he gets healthy, and that isn't a gimme.
No question. The league is crazy, Rusty, how these teams are laying one on top of the other.
Hey, but don't tell anybody Oregon, Penn State, and Ohio State are far, far superior to everybody
what a
else.
joke.
Just so everybody knows.
You have to live out there among those people, too, and I bet they think USC's got something.
My neighbor across the street, sweetest guy ever. Love him, love his kids, just great. We cut up all the time. He's a USC guy, has a flag on the front of his house like I have the Tennessee flag on mine, and he thinks they suck. He's like, I'm not buying it yet.
I can imagine not believing in that coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
Hey, but Cowherd and Josh Pate were on their podcast yesterday, and they both are like bought into SC completely. They think they feel like SC can make the playoff out of the Big Ten this year. Which, hey, maybe they do. Who knows?
Wow.
Anyway,
the big market
all right, boys.
guys.
Love y'all.
Yeah, good talking to you. The big market guys always get sold out on the USCs of the world. Who, by the way, they're not bad. I mean, you know, they've got a Polynesian quarterback that can play, if you can imagine that. As we take a brief timeout and come back on the other side, it'll be TLD Logistics Overdrive overtime time or close to that. So if you want to load the phone lines up at 865-200-5402. Over on Fan Run, it's the playbook with the incomparable William Pattison.
Yeehaw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today. Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
VIP Play coming soon. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Must be 21 plus and located in Tennessee to bet.
TB here for Cedar Bluff Plumbing, a live and local company that's been serving our area for over 32 years and counting because every customer counts, and I mean no job is too small. Cedar Bluff Plumbing just voted #1 by City View Magazine because multiple plumbing experts are on call to serve all your plumbing needs. Chances are there'll be a plumber in your area when you call, and they won't send some salesman to your house. You're going to get a high-character, trustworthy, highly trained plumber who will serve you, not like some of these guys that look like they came off the set of America's Most Wanted. Cedar Bluff Plumbing is Basilio tested and approved and will go the extra mile for you because Chucky Mack is a servant of the people and my consigliere to the throne, celebrating over 32 years of serving living volunteers. Cedar Bluff Plumbing. Call 588-4448. That's 588-4448. Cedar Bluff Plumbing.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a 2-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis.
Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Achillio here, and you know my friends at Carnes Motor Company started with a dream over a quarter century ago. I met Rob and Brian back when I still had hair, and they were working at a huge dealership in West Knoxville. But they told me back then they wanted to sell cars on their terms, and I wanted to do radio on my terms. Their terms, just like my terms, are ultimately your terms. In both cases, you're the winner. A Car Guru's national award winner with a 5-star rating on all sites, just like our Vols. Everything about buying a car from Carnes Motor Company is no hassle. They specialize in high-quality pre-owned vehicles between the $5,000 to $25,000 range. And if you need to sell a car, they'll either buy your car or they'll help you sell it. Carnes Motor Company also has a top-notch service department. Therefore, every vehicle is rigorously inspected and serviced prior to delivery. So you're guaranteed to get a quality pre-owned vehicle every time. If you need a place for service, they've got you covered. Come be a part of the Carnes Motor Company family and tell them you heard about it from B. Online at carnesmotor.com. Oak Ridge Highway, 1 mile past the Carnes light. Carnes Motor Company. Believe that. Believe. By the way, tomorrow we're going to be live at Calhoun's on the River. You can believe that. I'll be down there, let's see, in our normal time slot. And then Dubsy will be there from 3 to 6. It's going to be unbelievable, Andy. Tell a friend. The playbook with William Patterson's coming up. I will continue to break it down scientifically. We were just talking amongst ourselves. This Kirby Smart guy, man, this got to stop. I mean, this has just got to stop. This guy is like Death Starring it, y'all. I mean, what are we doing here, man? It's got to stop. You know? This has just got to stop. But at any rate, we'll see you tomorrow. Make sure you check us out over at tclub.team. We love you. We appreciate you. We're going to continue to talk about it here on TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime. The great William Patterson is on the way next. We love you. We appreciate you. Peace. And G to the B to the O.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
L to the F to the J, baby doll.
It's TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime, presented by TLD Logistics. Online at tldlogistics.com. And now let's go to the guys with today's edition of TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime.
Pretty incredible, y'all. Anything else you guys want to get into? As I asked the panel, and then we go back to our phones, where there are 2 lines available, which never happens, but it's where we are today on our TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime. Go ahead, panel.
Yeah, we were talking about, you wanted to talk about the Kirby Smart thing and the fact that he hasn't lost a game at home in regulation. But keep in mind that Alabama has not played in Sanford Stadium since 2015, before Kirby Smart got there. So that's probably a big reason why, is because Alabama hasn't played there much, and they've pretty much, that program has somehow has been able to own. Georgia has 1 win. I think Kirby Smart has 1 win against them, and the Tennessee has 2 wins against Bama alone in the last 3 years. So go make sense of that.
That is weird, Matt, that whole Alabama thing. And it was almost like Daniel-san taking on his professor-san. You know, Matt?
Yeah, Kirby
to
had a mental block for Saban. Saban had such a mental edge over Kirby.
Yep.
You know, that they won the one. I mean, it was in the national title game, so you know, obviously that's a big deal. But I think Alabama had just beat them in Atlanta like a month before.
Yes.
But that's Kirby's only win over them. I know. I think it was it 2018 when Georgia totally outplayed Alabama and had the second 26 where they put 2 in but Georgia had just kind of fumbled around after just totally dominating the game. Like Kirby just could not beat Saban. It was a huge mental edge. But other than that, I mean, Georgia's been just incredible, unfortunately.
And, you know, that's why last week hurts. Because the things that we're led to believe See, did you ever think that Joey Aguilar 5 days later could perform like that in that football game? What we were led to believe about him, that he could play like that.
No, I didn't think, I wasn't expecting it. I was a little bit. I thought there was a little bit of a daylight there with Georgia's defense on the back end, but I thought a good performance for Aguilar would be, if Tennessee got to 30 in that game, I thought that would be like about the best we could do, and he did. He kind of surpassed that. I mean, they had 21 at the end of the first quarter, I guess, right, or early in the second quarter. So, I thought it was about he exceeded everything I thought he could do. Even if this Georgia defense is maybe a little bit of a step back, I don't think that he could have played much better. And Stockton, obviously, the same thing. I thought both quarterbacks, and we talk about the quarterbacks in the league, I thought both quarterbacks in that game on Saturday were really, really good.
Hey, Matt, these people that adhere to this, like all the numbers and the Pro Football Hocus Pocus, and trying to lead us to believe, Matt, that this Gunnar Stockton guy couldn't throw the ball in the end zone. I mean, that's about the most idiotic thing in the world after you watched him in the playoff game last year. Like, I don't know where that came from, but at the same time, he is one tough bastard, Matt. That's one thing that I will always respect about that kid. He got hammered a couple times Saturday and hung in there and made the throw. I'm talking like hammered. And he kept standing up making the throw.
Yeah, him and Aguilar both. I guess Aguilar's were probably more vicious hits, but no, he stood there and made throws when we got pressure and kind of picked apart our depleted secondary, which is unfortunate. But no, he was really good. Both quarterbacks were outstanding in the game.
Kelly Holcomb told me on Plaster Show, and he said, look, I played in the NFL. I've seen all kinds of throws and catches. He said that throw and catch right there at the end of the game on that 4th and 6 is about as good as you can possibly do it. Everything about it was great execution. And Tennessee's DB even executed on the play. I mean, everybody. Like you. Go ahead.
I'm not going to disagree with that because it was a perfect throw and a great catch. But we made that so easy for him to read where he knew where he was going. He was able to do it all in rhythm. We didn't disguise anything. He knew he had one-on-one on the outside, and if the receiver, got that step off the DB, that's where he was going. So I just wish we could have made things a little bit tougher for him to read, like post-snap.
Should we have taken a timeout, Matt, and really drawn something up there, scheme-wise? Because some people have mentioned that.
You could. You certainly could have.
And then you get the right personnel in the game too. You get your best pass rushers out there. You just put your best. You just throw your best 11 out there for that one play.
Yeah, you could say that, but Mike Bobo was winning that coaching matchup throughout the game. No reason to think he wouldn't have won it coming out of a timeout too.
I just think the sport is interesting because those are the things that you kind of second guess. And it's kind of open to interpretation, or you could sit in a room and 10 people would see it 10 different ways. It's one of the great things about college football. Because Matt said the other day when I was kind of blaming Heupel he said, Tony, it's college football. And C came on afterwards and said neither coach really adorned themselves in glory in that game, neither head coach, but both had their teams absolutely ready and in the spot to win, which is exactly what you want. So, see, that does make it a unique sport, right? That we can poke at these guys. And I'm not sure how fair it is to even poke at them, but they're making a lot of money, so it is what it is.
Yeah, I thought both coaches obviously had a really good gameplay, especially Kirby. Kirby said before the game that we always had the first 15 plays on defense against these guys. We always struggle, and then we settle in. It kind of went to that. It went according to that script. But once both teams settled in, I thought both coaches did a really good schematically. I thought Heupel on his side of the ball, Kirby on his side of the ball, both did a good job. Heupel's game plan was excellent. And yeah, I disagreed. Obviously, I said it on the post game. I don't really want to go back to it, but yeah, I disagree with some of the conservative stuff both coaches did. I thought Kirby was way too willing to settle for field goals, and if they hadn't made that play, at the end of the game, or if Gilbert makes that field goal, I think he would have been catching a lot of flack because he wasn't really even, he was being very, very conservative in the red zone in a high scoring game. And they settled for, I guess, they ended up kicking 3 field goals.
3, yeah. 3
in a game that was being played in the high 30s. And then, Heupel did some stuff that we've talked about and it's been rehashed over and over that I thought the punt, especially at the end of the first half, was I wasn't a big fan of. But
weird.
Yeah, both coaches I thought maybe could have been a little more aggressive, but it was still a really well played game, and both coaches obviously had their teams ready to play, and it was a really high level game, which is all you can really ask for. And I think maybe Heupel could have done a little better, Kirby could have done a little better, but it ended up coming down to overtime because the kid couldn't make a field goal. So it's kind of I don't know if the coaching decisions either way won or lost the game, because I think both coaches probably were about equal in terms of being so conservative that it kind of was a wash.
Hey Matt, before we go back to our phones, why do you think Kirby was so conservative in spots? What do you think that was about?
But I just think he was going to make sure he got points at times. Like the one, I think it was right before the half. They settled. They were down at the 2-yard line and kicked the field goal, but that made it a 4-point game. And they were getting the ball to start the second half. And I'm sure he had all the confidence in the world that the next time Tennessee got the ball, Georgia would have the lead, and that's what happened. I just think he trusts his defense so much, even though we had kind of got it jumped out on him. A lot of that was in that first quarter before they adjusted, that he was going to make sure he took points on the road because he knew if they could, get into the 30s, that he felt confident that they could win. So, even though they're conservative, like I don't really have a ton of issues with any of the stuff they did. I mean, no coach is going to get everything right. You can make the right decision and have the wrong outcome. Yeah. So I just think Kirby was just playing it a little bit conservative because he's got the better team. So he can kind of afford to do that a little bit.
Yeah, 865-200-5402.
I think he showed some respect for Tennessee, too, though, by kicking the field goals because
I agree, Brian.
He knew they weren't the same team that he'd been just pretty much naming his score against that he could do earlier.
It's either respect or disrespect because, like Matt's saying, he's thinking, you know what, I can beat these guys with field goals today. I think when they went back and watched that film and saw how their DBs kept falling down, which happened several times, by the way, he had to look at himself in the mirror because he's a defensive back guy and say, we were flat out. That's one of the luckiest wins of my career. That has to be the conclusion that dude draws. He said it after the game, but when those guys go back and watch film and they watch all the mistakes they made, and not only did they make mistakes, but they kept putting us in like zero coverage at times and just daring us to throw jump balls. Now, Mark in Colombo came in here and he crapped all over the quarterback. Hey, we should have thrown 4 interceptions. Really? I mean, really? One-on-one coverage, Colombo? Really? Let's go to the phones. But then Colombo declared that same day Nico off limits. He said, you're not allowed to talk about him, Colombo. What a clown. Let's go to the phones. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony, and everybody. It's Leslie.
Hey, Leslie, welcome in. Long time no
talkie. I know, it's been a minute.
Been a hot minute.
Yeah. So since y'all were talking about it, and I did try to listen to the whole post game, but so I have a question. As far as the kicker, how does your coach playing conservative, meaning like, we were up by 5 and he doesn't let the quarterback make a throw to try to score a touchdown, and chooses, to only go up by 8 at that point, and of course the kicker, he makes that kick and we're up by 8, and we all saw how it was going to play out at that point. But how does that affect the kicker later on, the conservative play calling? Because the defense had just gotten this huge strip sack. You're already up by 5. Why not let your quarterback take a shot at it? Worst case scenario, they get the ball back. but you're still up by 5. The most they can go down and score is 7, so they're up by 3, but you get another shot at it. I don't know. It seemed like that affected the kicker because it's like, well, my coach wants to go up by 8 because he doesn't trust me later on in the game to take it to the house when we're behind by 2. But I don't know if anybody's asked that.
I have not even considered that. Matt, do you think a kicker that would cross a kicker's mind during a game? Because I don't know if I buy that one way or another, Leslie. But I mean, it could be. Matt, you think that would cross a kicker's mind?
I wouldn't think so. I mean, if anything, I think kind of being the quote unquote conservative there and, settling for the longer field goal would give your kicker more confidence for later in the game. But I don't know. It's where I didn't catch it at the stadium, but just Gilbert's body language and how so many people were talking to him before that was really kind of alarming.
What were they
and
doing?
Maybe he just looks like that anyway. Me and Berkey were actually talking about that right before the show, but maybe that's just who he is. But he looked like he was just so scared to be out there at that moment, and I felt so bad for him.
Exactly. His face was totally red. It looked like me on my first ever date in high school, Leslie. My face was so flush and red. I'm scared to death. I'm afraid I'm going to, forget my words that are coming out of my mouth. Like some people get when it's public speaking time, and then he's got people over there in his ear. Matt, what was that coach doing over there in his ear? What are they doing? You always leave a kicker alone.
Yeah, he iced his own kicker.
It's weird.
But he made the kick though when we went up by 8, right? So that's what I'm talking about. At that point,
yes.
Why we wouldn't have gone for the end zone and tried to go up by 11 at the minimum? I don't understand that. I still don't understand it. But I'm sure Heupel wishes he could reverse in time too and maybe do something different. But then when the game's on the line with Kirby, of course, he puts the ball in his quarterback's hands and says, you've got to score. If Heupel would have had more of that mindset right before that and we went up by 11, possibly 12, then the game's basically over. So I don't know. I didn't understand that. And then, of course, I think he did ice his kicker when we had the penalty. The kid had already ran out on the field. I don't know if y'all could see that.
No, he did. That's right.
Game, but the kid,
he did.
He had already ran out there, and the coach says, no, come back. We're going to run one more play. I think that was when, because, they go through these progressions and these little rituals, and that screwed all that up. And then add another 5 yards. And at that point, I think he should have called a timeout because his kicker was obviously in his own head and, give him a chance to run back through the progressions and kick into the little net and all that. But I don't know. I don't know. Hey, one other thing I was going to ask y'all about this Arch Manning thing. And I mean, I hate it for the kid too. I mean, that's a nice family and he seems like he's done everything right. But do you think that, he chose Texas and he was also seriously considering by all things you read on Georgia and Alabama. Do you think that he went with Texas because they weren't in the SEC? And has anybody thought about that? Because originally they were going to be in the Big 12 and through the 2025 season. Of course, they bought out of that. But at the time that he committed, did he know all of that they were not going to stick to the dates? Or did he think that he had a few years to go through the Big 12 with basically only one major competition team and Oklahoma? I don't know. Maybe I just was thinking about that. Did that factor into his decision? And, because it seemed like he avoided the SEC with his commitment.
Hey, C, do you have a thought on that? Because I know you know people in the Texas deal. Is Leslie, does the timeline add up to you, C?
I don't think it would be hard to think that would be a reason for somebody making a big decision like that. I think it seems to me in following it, obviously it's been a few years, but I think the family was really, really sold on Sark and his development of quarterbacks and all that. It seemed like that seemed to be the big kind of final decision maker was just that they trusted Sark a little bit more than Alabama and Georgia with quarterback development. So I mean, it's an interesting point Leslie brings up, but I don't think that was a huge part. I mean, Texas every year is having to play Oklahoma, and they were playing difficult out of league games. They play Ohio State. They were on the schedule. So I don't think he made that choice, to duck competition or anything like that.
An utterly bizarre season so far, Leslie. And watching that poor guy play, he's so far in his own head. Oh my gosh, man.
It's sad. Hey,
it is sad.
But Joey football, I mean, I'm here for the entire story. The family, his grandmother, his mom and dad. I mean, it's just been a total 180 from the other deal. I'm not even going to name their name, but hey, on the way out, we have Matt mentioned the Children's Hospital. Well, we parked past that, and it's a church, and we're literally right beside the interstate. Now it's a hike, but it's pretty much downhill on the. So it's $20. I mean, you can't beat it, and supposedly it's for the church. I don't really know what it's for, but the people are nice. Our cars never had any problem. And it's so easy to get in and out when you're heading west and just get on the interstate. No traffic.
Let's go. Thank you, Leslie.
Yeah, I know about that too. You can also get shuttles, I think, to the game from that point. There's a shuttle that goes back and forth, and you can get it if you get there at the right time.
We played the great.
Oh, wait.
We played the great Austin Collins tailgate up there a couple years ago. It was pretty next level. So 865-200-5402.
When did Texas announced they were coming to the SEC? And I think July of 2021, was it?
I don't know, bro.
I think it was July of 20. So I don't know when Arch would have committed to Texas. I think it would have been after that. I would think.
Is that right, guys? What's the timeline on that? Because he was a part of Nico's.
2021 is when they announced it, yeah.
And he was a part of Nico's class, right?
Yes.
I think he committed to Texas in the year after that, 2020, summer of 22.
So they knew. So he knew he was going into the SEC. Then is Bry's point. Well,
yeah, there was a thought originally that they were going to stay until 1 year longer than they did. There was a thought that this year would have been the first year, but they eventually ended up coming a year earlier. But he knew that by his junior year, at the very least, they were going to be in the SEC.
I think that helped Texas get him. I don't know that he wants to go there if they're in the Big 12.
The weird thing about Arch Manning, guys, is that he can't play. It's rather strange. And by can't play, I mean he just doesn't look like he can play. Like, I don't know any other way to say that than it's not that he's overrated. It's that he can't play. That's kind of a problem.
You were talking, Tony. I have talked to some people in Texas who live in Austin and that follow it really, really closely. And it does, and Matt was kind of talking about this, I guess, off the air, but it seems like there's a chance it could be just something totally in his mind because they've looked at everything. And like, if you go back to last year when he played against Louisiana Monroe, that was his only start last year because Ewers was hurt. And obviously the competition level is very different, but if you look at all the practice film and the Louisiana Monroe game and when he would get in, for cameos here and there, his throwing motion and his footwork are completely different than they were last year. So there's a thought that he's got some kind of like, when pitchers in baseball can't throw, like John Lester couldn't throw over to first, you get kind of the yip, something like that. There's some thought within the program that there's some kind of block that's keeping him from, like, he can't do what he's always done. There's something physically where he can't connect mentally with what he's always done. He just looks like robotic, and I don't know. It's very odd, but that seems to be the thought that there is some kind of mental block there with him.
I hate seeing any competitor go through anything like that. I mean, because that's brutal. The mental side of all this stuff is we're so fragile as people, but I've got a mental block right now when it comes to cash and winning tickets. But playing over at VIP play is fun nonetheless. You make your first bet, $20 or more, you get $100 in bonus bets instantly. The The promo code's TN Tony. We've got an awful game in college football tonight. What is it, C?
We got Rice and Charlotte.
Oh, God. Tomorrow's slate's not much better. You've got Rutgers and Iowa.
Rutgers and Iowa will be interesting. No question. Shiano Friday. They've got tremendous, convenient deposits for you, ladies and gentlemen. They will take great care of you. Direct debit card and Apple Pay now available. 200 leagues, live always. My Sillies let me down last night on the sweep. Another tough night at the races for me. 200 leagues, numerous bet types, props options. You got it. A world-class betting experience over at VIP Play. And if you have a gambling problem, 800-889-9789, 21 and over, and located in the great state of Tennessee to place a bet. And it's TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime presented by our friends at TLD Logistics, online at tldlogistics.com. Say it, know it, and write it right on down as we go back to our phones. It's been a really strange year so far. It's been a mysterious year in college football with quarterback play and things that we thought were true that aren't, and it's got to give you, as a Tennessee fan, it's got to give you some hope here. This is fun stuff. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, what's going on, Tony? Who's your Ryan?
Hey, Ryan, welcome in, brother. Good to hear you.
Yeah, just for fun, let's go in honor of the opposing coach this Saturday in the bizarre novelty of playing a Super Bowl winning quarterback as the opposing head coach. Who is the worst Super Bowl winning quarterback ever? Is it Trent Dilfer? I know that's the knee jerk. Is it Brad Johnson? Those were the two that came to my mind. Can someone think of another candidate from way back in the day? What do you guys think?
Yeah, Jim Plunkett won one, and he couldn't play dead in a Western till he had 1 year with the Raiders. He was kind of given up on. Does anybody else have a really kind of a lame-ass quarterback that held the trophy?
Doug Williams.
Doug Williams is a good one. That was out of nowhere.
Pretty good.
That's pretty good, actually.
I thought he was a good player, wasn't he?
He was all right.
Oh. Okay.
Trent Dilfer's the worst, I think.
Dilfer's the worst?
He does have that weird, dubious honor, and it's such an odd thing. And then, Brad Johnson, didn't we play his son in Neyland a couple years ago at A&M?
Yes, that's correct.
So, yeah, just kind of a weird thing this weekend that we have some of these connections. Well, Tona, my other thing I was going to ask y'all about, should everyone be a Hoosier Vol this weekend? Would it behoove Tennessee for Illinois to take an L in Bloomington? Because I got to looking at their schedule. I use losing two. They go on the road to Eugene, and they go on the road to Happy Valley. Those are 2 L's. You can just chisel them and
put them down.
And they're probably going to lose another one. So I wouldn't worry about the Hoosiers. If Illinois wins Saturday, where's their 2 losses? Because we already know a 1-loss week schedule Big Ten team, the Hoosiers, will get in. Will a 2-loss Illinois get in over a 2-loss Tennessee? And I think it would behoove the Vols to have Indiana win this weekend. What do y'all think?
Matt, where are you on that?
Yeah, you'd be better off if Indiana were to win. I think Indiana's favored, which is interesting. But no, Illinois' got a path to the playoffs if they win. I think it's like 3 of their next 4. They need to go 3-1. It's the biggest part. I think it's Indiana, USC, and somebody else, maybe Ohio State, which that'll be a loss. But yeah, we would need Indiana to probably win that because Illinois is at 10-2 would almost certainly be in the playoffs.
Now that was going to be my follow-up, Matt. You think that because we have precedent 11-1 Big Ten you're in, because if they were ever not going to do it, it would have been last year. So that I think that's a precedent, as we say down here, 10-2 SEC you're in.
Yes.
Are we sure about that with Illinois? What do you guys think?
I mean, see, what do you think?
Illinois, I was looking, they're an underdog in 3 of the next 4 games, actually, which is that they're, I guess, 6.5-point underdog to Indiana. And then they're going to be, right now, they're a 2-point underdog at home against USC next weekend. And then, like Matt said, they have to play at Ohio State in 3.
But you know what?
So, yeah, I think that Illinois, I don't think we're going to have to worry about Illinois. I think they're going to lose 3 games. They also have to have a tricky game at Washington later in the year, which I think they could lose. So I think that a 10-2 Illinois probably would get in, but I don't think they're going to beat Indiana, and I think they're probably going to lose. I think there's a good chance to lose to USC next week too.
I think USC's competition for that 4th spot in that league, you want them to stay as a 3-bid league. I think USC is another one to watch. Wrote about it in the blog the other day, but you are right about Illinois and Indiana this weekend. That's a compelling game in a card that doesn't look like it has a ton of compelling games coming into the weekend. Of course, these weekends always deliver in major college football.
I guess out the door real quick. It's going to be so fun. Is it our bye week that Florida State Miami takes center stage again and we turn back the clock? That's the biggest game of the season.
I haven't even thought about that.
And that's so excited me because one of my guilty pleasures is Bobby Bowden. Well, not a guilty pleasure. He was a good Christian man. He was funny. He was like stand-up comedian funny, and not the way Spurrier was, where he was a jerk. And I love Florida State as a team. I am not a alumni or fan of. I love just they're cool to me. So I'm really looking forward to that. ACC, could ACC get at least 3 in? Because I'm counting Tech. You got the Noles, the Canes, and Tech, right?
I mean, I don't know what they're going to do if those 3 teams keep losing or winning rather, and I don't know how much crossover there is. What would be a real nightmare for the committee, Matt, is if Clemson goes from here and somehow figures out a way to win out, and then you got 2 other teams sitting out there 11-1. What are they going to do? What would they do at that point? You know, I mean, what would they do? Would they be forced to, like last year, they put SMU in that thing, and SMU didn't belong in that deal last year. SMU went to Penn State and shit the proverbial bed, as we like to say in the trade. I mean, there's no other way to say that. They were out of that game in the first quarter. Matt, what do you think they do if that occurs? And that could occur, by the way.
Yeah, I think Clemson plays Florida State, and that's it. Miami plays Florida State also.
Right.
It'll probably work itself out. But I do think that you have maybe a 1-loss ACC champion or at least 1 loss entering the title game and a couple of 10-2 teams. You could certainly maybe finagle 3, but I'd say they probably get 2 in right now. As good as Georgia Tech looks and as big as that win is, I just don't know if Hayes King can hold up for a full season. And so much of what they do relies on him that I think they have just at least 1 loss coming just because of his health.
Well, last week sucked, guys, but college football, there's nothing better. And it's so fun that we are right in the thick of it. And never know. Just keep playing the next one. Just win the next one.
You're the man, brother. Yeah, in this league, that's so true. And the thing you don't want to do in this league is you don't want to take a hangover into your first road game. That's why this UAB game is properly placed on Tennessee's schedule. As we get our next call in on your TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime. Hi.
Hey, Tony. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for calling.
So you was kind of, let's see, how do you say it? It's misleading, Kirby's home schedule. You know, he's not played Alabama very much at home. And I think the one thing that we forget is Florida and Georgia were never at home. And then when Urban Meyer was there, you know, I can't remember if he was there as Kirby was, you know, and I think that he kind of owned him.
How much did they overlap, guys? Because Kirby got there, 2016? Is that right?
Yeah, 2016 was his first year.
So he overlapped with Urban Meyer. How much, Bry?
No, he didn't.
I didn't think so.
Overlap with Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer was but Florida 2010 was his last year at Florida. So
yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so his record against Florida is pretty stellar, isn't it, guys? In that game,
I think he's only lost twice to him.
So
okay, so I mean, there's that.
That's a good point. That's a good point. That's a good point. And the whole Alabama thing. Look, Georgia's always had a kind of an easier shake than most,
right?
Down through the year, schedule-wise.
Mm-hmm.
The SEC will announce Tuesday that the 9-game schedule will announce who each teams will play 3 rivalry games.
Bang, as we told you. And I think Tennessee's 3 are going to be. My guess, based on the information I have, I think Kentucky's going to be the 3rd. We'll see if it happens.
Kentucky, Alabama, and Vandy?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you could deal with that. I'll take that.
Yeah.
So what's your thoughts on Dan Lanning being the best coach in the country?
He's pretty damn good. He's pretty damn good.
I don't think he loses Saturday if he's on our sidelines.
No, he's pretty damn.
Oh,
I see. If he loses that game, if he's us, I don't know. I don't know how you do that.
No, I think he wins. No, I don't think he does. I think he just. I don't think his testicles shrivel up inside. I think Heupel choked on that one. I really do. I'm going to go to it.
Matt, what do you say to a fan like him that thinks it was a choke job? Because there are a lot of people out there that feel that way, and you're entitled to feel any way you want to feel. What do you say to that, Matt?
No, I disagree with it because you still scored 38 points. It should have been enough to win. But I can see where you can make that argument, and there's certainly some plays in the game that you'd like to have back where things didn't work out. But I also don't think a Dan Lanning team would be up 21-7 after 15 minutes in that game either. But I do agree. I think Lanning. I mean, I guess you have to give it to Kirby, but I don't think there's another coach I would take in the country than Dan Lanning. I think he's the second best in the sport right now.
Yeah, if Kirby woke up and said I was bored, that'd be the first call Georgia would make is try to lure that guy back.
Thank you. Y'all are awesome, as usual.
Thank you. Yeah. Here's the thing, we don't pretend to have all the answers. I was mad at Heupel in the moment. And now I'm just kind of, I've sort of made peace with it. You were in a spot to beat somebody that man on man is a lot better than you. It was just the reality of it. And you had 4 defensive players hurt. Now, that's even more reason to maybe throw caution to the wind. I don't know. We could argue that. As C said, Kirby Smart is the best in the sport. Coached that thing very close to the vest and got rewarded for it, but almost. If Tennessee puts the ball in the end zone there, the game would have been out of reach, and his fan base would have been going, "What are you doing kicking field goals?" That's the line that these people all live on. That's the line they all live on. His fan base, for all the winning they've done, would have been all over him. Guys, did you see Urich, the AD from Arkansas, what he said to the touchdown club? The big, huge touchdown club they have at Arkansas?
Yes.
Did you all see it, everybody?
Yeah, I heard about it, yeah.
What about our other 2 panelists? Did you guys see it?
I saw an article about it, yeah.
He stood up and said, he stood up and said, we are funded to win a national championship in basketball. We are funded to win a national championship in baseball. We are not competing in football. And it pissed their fan base off, Matt. Arkansas is a runaround car. That's my perception of them.
You think they got a shot to lose to Memphis over the weekend?
Hell yes. Yes.
Their defense, with their defense, they can lose to anybody.
A trap game at Memphis. Think about they go on the road to Memphis and then they host Notre Dame the next week. How big of a contrast that is.
Yeah, they're only a 6.5 point underdog against Notre Dame.
They can score.
By the way, if Memphis beats them, are they in the playoff conversation?
No, I mean that group of 5. It's going to be whoever wins the AAC is going to get it.
Yeah,
Tulane or South Florida or Memphis. I don't think Boise has much of a chance after losing that badly to South Florida. They're going to win the Mountain West. Yeah, it's just going to be whoever wins the AAC championship game is going to get that spot.
Back to the phones we go. Hello and welcome in. You are on our TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime Thursday edition.
Hello, Tony.
There he is. What's up, Billy?
Well, another Commodian got the axe. Jimmy Kimmel. You there?
I'm right here, Billy. You got the floor, man.
Let his mouth get him into trouble. And when you do that, your show gets canceled.
Look, I'm not in the demo because I'm not a movie watcher. I don't understand the purpose of late night talk shows now. I mean, I know their ratings are horrendous for these things. And by the way, while we're on ratings, see, how does Screamin' A. Smith command $20 million when he gets 275,000 viewers in the middle of the afternoon? How does that work? See, would you please explain that to me?
I'm not the person to ask on that. I haven't seen Stephen A. Smith or First Take since I was in probably 8th grade.
Tony, I'll tell you one thing. When it came to talk shows, you bet In the Pocket, the Jerry Glanville Show, Sports in the Round. You were awesome in all 3 of them.
Hey, Bill, I wasn't doing a late night talk. I don't know. Do any of you guys watch late night talk shows? The Fallon guy that's not funny. Any of these guys. Do you guys watch? Matt, do you watch those shows?
No. Haven't even thought about it in well over 10 years.
Never even watched him then either.
Jimmy Kimmel. Last time I watched Jimmy Kimmel, he was doing Wim Ben Stein's Money on the Comedy Channel, which was funny on the Comedy Network. That was before he took the shot and snorted a few things because he is tiny compared to what he used to look like on that show. No offense to him. So I don't understand why the late night talk shows exist. People don't look at them. I mean, they just don't look at them. They don't make sense to me. But again, maybe it's beyond me. Maybe it's past me. Maybe it's that I'm not a movie watcher. But, Bill, do you remember how big of a deal Late Night with David Letterman was, or Johnny Carson? Do you remember how big of a deal that was?
Yeah.
Like when we were in college, man, you'd stay up and watch that stuff. These kids today aren't watching these shows. There's no way. No way.
I think the only thing that I watch late at night is my nephew Jesse. And that's it.
What time is Jesse on, Bill? What time and where can I watch? Is there like a streaming service?
There's, you could pick him up on News On and also on the WDEF website, which is, they have the live stream. He's on at 11 o'clock at night.
And what nights a week does he work?
Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday every night?
Every night.
On Saturday, does he ever work the weekend shifts?
No. He don't work.
Would there be a place I could watch it? Like, does he have a podcast or any place I could watch his views on the weekend? Like, on Saturday and Sunday, if I want Jesse's views, where would I go to find that?
Well, you could go to News On, which I believe is a streaming site. Also, go over there where it says, your favorite channels, or pick a station. And, put your your finger on WDEF, and he's on there. And you can also pick him up in the afternoon because they do the replay of the 11 o'clock report. This is on News On. Keep that in mind. News On, it's called.
Okay, so if I'm wanting, I can watch him twice a day. Can I get this like on a smart TV? Is there a place I can go? Do you have a smart TV or know how you can watch Jesse on a smart TV?
Is on the cell phone. That's
cell phone.
No, we want to watch it. Brian wants to watch it on a smart TV, Bill. Like right now, you can watch us on a smart TV on Twitch. You can watch us on the YouTube. A lot of people watch it on the smart TVs, I'm being told, and I'm told I present as a very handsome man on there.
The only time I can get him is on the WDEF website.
Yeah, Matt's not doing that. Matt wants him on a smart TV. Matt said the guy's got to be on a smart TV. Now, this news, is it on news? What did you call it? I'm sorry. Say how you're breaking up. What is it now? On news. Hey, Brian, what you got to do is you got to go, Brian, into the App Store on that thing and look for On News, Brian. On News. Maybe that's the app where it's at.
On News. Okay.
On News. On News.
News On.
What is it? What is it?
On. That's what
on news. Is that on news?
It's on news. On news.
On. That's what it's called.
Bill, you're the man. Thank you. 7 minutes. I won't get back. I'm not sure I want them. Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you for calling.
Good. Hey, this is Jason in South Georgia. First time I'm calling.
Right on, my brother.
Love the show.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Hey, listen, I was at the game with my future son-in-law and his groomsmen. He's a big Georgia fan, and the rest of his groomsmen were minus me and my son. We had an absolute ball on the weekend. Knoxville was great. He said it was the best day of his life until next weekend when he marries my daughter. It was great.
God
great
bless
time.
you, man. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah,
so
cool.
he is a Georgia fan, and you've given your blessing to this union.
I have given my blessing despite his fandom.
Right on, my brother. You guys will have so much fun at holidays going forward, and so much trash to be talked, and that's good stuff.
Oh, it was fantastic. We played golf on the Friday.
Nice.
Went to the game, tailgating and everything. It was
nice.
It was their first time to Knoxville, first time to Neyland. Man, they absolutely loved it.
And I'll bet you were, because one thing I am when I have people that come for the first time, and I think we all feel this way, it's something we can all feel very proud of, and it's a really unique and neat thing to share with others. I love when I have family or friends that will come down from the Northeast, and they get a chance to see it, especially for a game like that that's really lit, man. That's good stuff. It's a shame the wrong team won.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Checker Neyland, the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
We got in before the disaster. Herding all the cattle in. As soon as the gates opened, I was like, "Hey, y'all, let's just go on in."
Smart move.
And I'm really glad we did.
Smart move.
But yeah, it was awesome. I mean, the game we should have won, but man, what an experience! He said this is the greatest sports experience I've ever had in my entire life. Fantastic.
I am so glad to hear that, man. So glad to hear that.
Really, really, really cool. Now, if I'm Heupel, I get my team together and I say, okay, look, let's look at every single Division I college football team in the country who runs something similar to our offense and tell me who their quarterback is. Have they had game experience for a year or two? Let's get a short list together and go recruit that and basically recruit that kid. because what he has done with Aguilar is so far. But, I mean, look at what Aguilar did against Georgia's defense. I mean, that kid was lighting it up. Watching it from the stands, and we were in a position where we could see receivers were running wide open all day long. And I would personally, instead of trying, because look, here's how I think about it, is this is now basically professional football. So when you draft a quarterback in the NFL, you're going to convince him to, typically they're going to sit. Now, I mean, obviously Cam Ward with the Titans, that is what it is. But, I mean, you're going to convince a guy, hey, look, sit behind the veteran for a couple of years, and we'll throw you out there in 2 or 3 years. You need to learn the system, learn how things operate, We're expecting high school kids to come in, 5-star, all this stuff. You're going to have to start convincing kids to sit. And even then, it's still no guarantee. Because look at Arch Manning. Look at Nico. I mean, they're not lighting it up. So if I'm Heupel, I'm looking at who are some of the quarterbacks who could run this system, who are out there right now, and what do we need to do to get them in. Anyway, thanks for all you do for the show. Take care.
Thank you, brother. Listen, I think that there's a conversation that is to be had here, guys, in light of what we've seen with Hendon Hooker and now this guy, Joey Football. I think, Matt, it deserves a conversation internally. Let me ask you this to you guys. If you had a chance to get that kid from Cal, or you had a chance to get the 5-star we have, the Brandon guy, who would you guys take?
I mean, you'd take the Cal quarterback.
If you had,
who I think was a 5-star in himself.
He is a 5-star. If you had a chance, that's a bad analogy. If you had a chance if Diego Pavia wins his case, and who in the hell knows when you get into court these days? Who knows? If Diego Pavia gets somewhere with that and gets another year of C, would you bring Joey Football back? Or
I thought I heard he was not going to win. He said this was going to be his last year.
Oh, he doesn't want it now?
Well, I think he said that they ruled against him, and I thought that's what happened. Maybe C can correct me.
I think he said on Twitter that was fake news as well.
Oh.
His lawyer, I think, did put something out, but then Pavia said that's fake news. So I don't know what the truth is, but It seems like he may not be pursuing it, even if his lawyer wants to.
Do you guys think it would be prudent for schools like Tennessee to pursue these one-year rental guys versus putting all your eggs in a basket of inevitably the bust rate on these 5-star guys is only going up as we go through time? The bust rate on these guys is really something, the 5-star quarterbacks. And I'll tell you what, this Brandon guy is the shiniest of shiny objects now. I mean, he's number 1 or number 2, depending on where you're looking. So he's the shiniest of shiny objects. What do you think, Matt?
It's certainly an interesting topic that will be fascinating to see it play out. Because you have to have elite quarterback play, unless you're one of the top 3 rosters and you're surrounded by 5-stars like Ohio State last year. You have to have that elite quarterback play to win playoff games and compete for championships. So,
good point.
If you can get the right one, I'm not a huge fan of the 1-year rentals, but like the multi-year transfers that Tennessee's done well with along the offensive line. Like if you can get a Hendon Hooker, obviously that would be huge. But it also comes down to, Heupel and them would have to evaluate and pick the right quarterback.
That's right.
Also,
that's
right. So it's not like that's even a guarantee though right now.
These poor guys don't know what they're looking at, which is weird. I'm sorry, but they just don't. At least to this point. C, would you do us a favor, you and Matt, because you guys are both kind of sick with it. But see, you're a little sicker with it. No offense. Could you make me a list of like 4 or 5 guys that if Tennessee chose to go that route, they could get involved with next year? guys that look like, they're in spots and, they're kind of risers. And does anybody come to mind right now? Because that's a legitimate, it's a legit, like Matt said, it's a legit topic. I mean, in light of what's going on here, that's a legit topic. In light of what's going on here.
Yeah, I mean, the kid from Cal seems to be the top guy that's like kind of known that he's going to go into the portal, but
yeah. And he's a 5-star guy. He really doesn't fit the mold sort of.
No,
what
but I
we're
mean,
talking
he's going to
about.
go. He's going to be highly paid to go somewhere.
Yes.
And he's going to have 2 years wherever he goes before he's draft eligible. So he'll be very, very highly sought after, I would think. I'm trying to think who else.
Yeah, can you search your body and your mind this week and just kind of come back? We'll make that assignment for you. Is that fair? Can you do that? And maybe if Lee's listening, like you sickos that play the ponies and play all the ponies. These guys don't play. These guys play all the ponies. Another good guy to ask that to would be tomorrow would be our guy Hughie, right, Bri? He's another good one.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
So Laura just sent me that WDEF has an app. Is Laura did she get the bit, Matt? What is she doing? She's sending me their app. Does Laura understand kind of what we were
answering your question that Bill couldn't?
Hey, honey, what are we doing over here? How long have you been married to me?
Is it called On News? Is that right, Tony?
I think it's News On. Is what Bill said. News On. Brian, was it News On?
I think it was on. I think it was News On, but I always turn news off because it's never good.
Back to the phones we go. It's very depressing to watch the news these days. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
What up, fellas?
What's up?
Juice from South Georgia.
There he is, the Juicy. The Juice.
The juice is loose.
The
juice is loose. Yes, sir. Hey, I want to get back to the caller before Jason from South Georgia, actually a friend of mine. He came with the heat and the fire. I think he's completely on base, guys. I don't think any Tennessee fan could ever go back and watch another year of quarterbacking like we saw with a prep guy like Nico again. I mean, it was from what we've seen with Joey football to now, it's ridiculous. It would have taken Nico 10 games to put up that production on Georgia. He would have exhausted eligibility before he threw for 400 on that type of defense. So I think he's on to something. But here's the deal. Look at Oregon. Dante Moore, Dylan Gabriel, Bo Nix. They're doing it already, right? Dan Lanning he doesn't have to develop quarterbacks. He just develops defenses. So Josh Heupel, go get because here's the deal. Joey Aguilar is getting developed by a wizard that's getting him to his ability level. Like Joey Aguilar didn't do this type of stuff. He threw for a lot of yards at App State. He also threw a lot of interceptions. He's actually now having fun playing football at the highest level in college football.
It's incredible. It's incredible. I mean, you guys listen. It's a compelling. I'm with Matt. It is a conversation worth having because here's what happens. If you can find the right guy out of the portal, you're getting a borderline sure thing. That's the first thing. Yep. You've already seen with this coach that he can take a veteran quarterback and do it with him, an experienced guy. He can kind of tailor his offense around him, which is what he's done with Aguilar. They've tailored their offense around him, which is really impressive. And these high school kids, you really, and I'm including McIntyre in this, you really don't know what you have till you see one of those kids on a college football field. And for further evidence of that, look no further than Texas this year. Because you can think you know, but until you put a guy out there and you see him do it, in any league, I'm talking about in any league, you really don't know. And this thing is really interesting, man.
I'm telling you, Tony, I thought Nico was going to be
so
a 6'6" Bryce. He was going to be a 6'6" Bryce Young.
Yeah, I was so
I'm serious.
fooled. No, listen. I was so fooled by him that last year I said things that if people went back, I could probably get committed to a mental
embarrassing.
hospital.
I did it too. We all did it.
I'm so sorry over that, man.
And you know about it, what's interesting is Heupel spent 3-4 years catering to that kid, going all the way out to California.
Yep.
Why not just let him put it on tape, and we'll evaluate it, midway through the year during the season, and go ahead and have our eyes on the guy because, look, Rocco Beck at Iowa State, the TCU kid, I bet we could have got some in the mix for some of those kids in January, but they just weren't going to do what Nico did to us because it was really, really, really
That's right.
poor timing, right?
That's right.
So I think we can go get even a more quote-unquote bigger name than Joey, but I'm fine with if Joey's our floor for transfer quarterbacks, sign me up all day. Have a great show, guys.
Thank you, Juicy. I think it's interesting to think about because that's kind of what – and I don't know what an Aguilar would have cost in the open market if you'd have pulled him away from an App State, but Matt's got a great point, which is you have to be able to identify him. And so far, the identification process, this head coach is really good in a lot of things. But so far, Matt, at this school, identifying quarterbacks that work for him is not one of his strengths. It's odd. It's a really strange thing to say about a really promising young coach like him. And I know it's a small sample size.
That's a quarterback, like a coaching quarterback guru, too.
Yeah, it's
offensive
weird.
guru.
It's not really a small sample size. They've done it twice here in a row, where a guy that they didn't pick basically is beat out or a considerable amount better than a handpicked guy.
Hey, guys, let's go through this real quick.
So fascinating.
It is fascinating. It's weird. It's why college football is great, because you're trying to hold water in your hand, and you're trying to make sense of it. Okay, guys. See, give me some of the quarterbacks they were involved with. The Robertson guy at Baylor, your guy. That's a guy they called. Joey Aguilar better than him, yes or no?
Yeah.
In this
probably,
offense. The guy at Kansas.
Probably. I don't know. I think he's pretty good.
I agree with that. The guy at Kansas State.
Much better. Aguilar's much better.
Okay. The guy at Illinois.
I would probably take Joey.
What do you think,
But
Matt?
I think Altmaier's pretty good.
Altmaier or Joey? What do you think, Matt? For this offense. And again, they would have had 100 days to get him ready.
I think you would do really, really well with either one, but it's hard to argue with what Aguilar's brought so far.
And to Juice's
I'd
point,
the Baylor guy over Aguilar. I think that Robertson guy's maybe one of the more underrated players in the country.
That's interesting. See, that's a guy you might be able to target, and that's my point. Juice bringing up the fact they had Altmaier kind of shook loose, but what Illinois did is they appealed to him and said, look, man, you stay, you're a legend. You stay, everybody knows that you rebuff Tennessee's overtures. That's kind of what happened.
And they played that it would look bad to the NFL that he kind of wasn't a serious player.
Yeah.
Leaving his team in the spring and it would hurt his NFL development is kind of also I think what they appealed to.
Which makes sense because I don't think Nico is seen in the same light now in NFL circles. Even if he'd have gone to UCLA and lit it up. That was my contention the whole time when it happened. Serious people do not do what Nico did in spring ball and just get up and leave. That is a red flag, and a red flag to the NFL, I think. But that's my opinion. And, for my opinion, you get a cup of coffee these days in most spots. And it wouldn't even be free. You'd probably pay double. Who else was on their radar, guys? There were three or four.
The caller talked about Becht and Hoover.
Okay.
Angeli. I think Angeli was maybe.
Give me Becht. C. And Matt.
I'm not
either.
a huge fan of Becht. I'd rather have Joey. I think Robertson and Altmaier are the two that would be. Hoover we'll find out a little more about as the season goes on.
Hoover.
I think Altmaier and Robertson are the two that would be kind of a little bit more of a difficult decision if you could choose one or the other. But it's hard to go against Joey just because of how successful and how good he's looked in the system. Yeah. There's not a lot of guys that I think would be guaranteed to be better than that, than what we've seen through 3 weeks here.
Matt, the thing I think that's wild about the Aguilar deal is, and again, you can't, people want to say, well, you need to quit talking about Nico. You can't quit talking about Nico. He's not here if it isn't for those idiots. And those people are stone cold morons. Matt, you think on its surface, right, how stupid it is, because John Adams, we were talking during the break the other day, he said it's one of the dumbest moves in the history of sports what Nico's family did.
Yeah. I mean, and you could see it coming from a mile away, too. Like, it wasn't like this is a surprise that he went to a total train wreck and disaster.
C helped me do a blog in August, and he was like, Tony, I just did a deep dive on them because he was trying to get a feel for what to bet on a total. He said their team is absolutely, to your point, Matt, horrendous. They're awful on defense. Their offensive line's awful. They've got nothing around them. And that's what didn't make any sense, Matt, about them saying, well, we left Tennessee because he didn't have enough supporting cast. And now, you know what it looks like, Matt? We didn't think he had enough supporting cast because this guy couldn't throw a football last year. And they cut this guy. They cut him, and the coach that cut him and blackballed him to the media and ripped him and leaked some things about him to the media got fired before the first month of the season was halfway over. I mean, ain't that some shit, as they say in the trade? That's ridiculous. That's so next level, it's not even funny. I love that. I mean, not that I want to see anybody fail. The Foster guy, they're walking off the field the other day because I don't know what's happened to this program. I played here. I mean, what do you even say about this program? We're losing to New Mexico now. You're the coach.
You were the coach.
Yeah.
And that's why you were the coach.
Any final...
and not the coach now.
Any final thought here on the way out?
Make sure Laura texts me the information about the site I go to watch the news.
That's ON News. Is that I was trying to write it down so I don't forget. ON, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's called
Just put
ON.
a link to it in tomorrow's blog, Tone.
ON. Love you guys. Thanks.
See you, Tone.
To my friends at TLD Logistics, thank you for sponsoring whatever that was. By the way, check your YouTube feed tonight. We'll be dropping another edition of Winners and Losers. I'd fade those guys. You talk about some stone-cold losers right now. But we'll be on tonight. The Jukie's going to make a special appearance, Clone tells me. He's even going to have a fake talk show host here in town, make a couple picks, which will be a lot of fun. I want to thank my lovely bride, Laura. I want to thank my orthopedic surgeon who's getting ready to do a procedure on me today. I want to thank him in advance for the great work he's getting ready to do. I want to thank Mary Michael Jordan over at Andrew's Physical Therapy. Shout out, Mary Michael Jordan. I want to thank Laura for putting up with me all this time. I mean, I have been a nut job around here. I want to thank Brian Hartman for the hard work. Matt Dixon. We'll see you tomorrow live on the ones and the twos at Calhoun's on the River. Dubsy Smith will follow me out there. It's going to be an insane brawl for it all tomorrow. Just an absolute brawl for it all. TLD Logistics, we love you. We thank you. G to the B to the O and take DeVoe. Appreciate you. Peace. All right, for